Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, the podcast. We chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
Finally, John, a film that isn't afraid to address, do people get chafed by leather pants?
Apparently. Bold filmmaking here, folks.
They do.
Yeah.
My hot take on this, which is 2011 or 12?
2011's
2011's Fright Night reboot.
Yeah.
First time watching it.
That's right. You'd never seen this. Yeah.
It was good.
Great.
It was good.
It's really good.
There are things I don't necessarily, but I think what a lot of reviews I've seen have said about it have basically said it was unnecessary. And unnecessary is, that is basically the main argument. The first one is great. I love the first one.
Yeah.
This does not eclipse my love of the first one. But this one is enough of its own movie.
Yes.
The changes it makes are not just cosmetic. There's a lot of changes that are made, and most of them work really well. It's shot well. It's performed well. All that stuff. So I'm sitting there going like, great.
I think this is, of course, the impetus to create this movie is a corporate cash grab of can we, drum up some interest.
Refreshen IP.
Right, but that's always the thing. And this is a thing I get on a lot when people talk about, remakes, reboots, stuff like that. It's all about, though, of course, the impetus of that. Everything is to make money in Hollywood. But are the people making it trying? And I think really good director, really good writer here, assembling an amazing cast who aren't just resting on the laurels. Yeah, they are making this is, I think, an ideal version of can we bring something back that people recognize? I think this is how you do it.
This is how you do
I really like that. I did see this movie opening weekend when it came out because I was told David Tennant was in a movie. That was the big impetus to see this for me. I loved the original Fright Night, but I was also like, you're going to do it with David Tennant? Well, I have to go see this.
All of this, I remember when it came out, the reason I avoided it is just because it looked on the outside and from the trailers, it looked glossy. It looked of its time with all the blue filters again. And
Sure.
Here's sexy Colin Farrell. And I was just like going, this looks terrible. So I just didn't
then you would say now, having watched it, the marketing may be poor on it then.
Yeah, or at least what it showed me was something that was my fear going into this, which is soulless update and why watch it. It's like, and I liked David Tennant, of course, but I'm not I have to see everything he's in. If he's done something that I thought was crap, I'm not going to go see it. Just like, when we're watching those Underworlds, which we're doing for the podcast.
Yep.
I didn't go see any of them post, like the first one or maybe the second one. Because there's even though I can sit there going like, ooh, Michael Sheen, this guy's great. I just like, these movies are crap.
Well, those are. This is not crap, though. That's the thing that
this is not crap.
And
this surprised me at how much I enjoyed it.
It kind of should be on paper, right? Like, this shouldn't work as well as it did. But I think one of the big keys and one of the smartest moves right off the bat was hiring Marty Noxon to write it.
Word.
Who was, of course, essentially became the de facto showrunner at a certain point once Joss Whedon was off doing Firefly and Angel and running a TV empire of the sort of later half of Buffy. But was there from the start, and I think it made so much sense at the time because I feel like Fright Night is definitely in the creative stew that led to Buffy, right? That sensibility.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's part of the DNA of Buffy, without doubt. And the choices that are made, and those are all almost going to be Marty Noxon because they are essential to story. I'm not saying that the director didn't himself go, I've got an idea, twist on this. What if we do this?
I'm a huge fan. Well, we'll talk about Craig Gillespie in a second. I'm a massive fan of his, too.
Right. And he's still, he's gone on to great things, which we'll talk about. But this is really his only dip into this genre. But it's still very good. So I think all this, like I say about most Marvel movies, the changes they made are smart
Yes.
for the most part. What really interests me when we get into it is how quickly they get into everything. Which the other one, which is a classic, but it does what you'd expect, which is the slow roll of a suburban kid going, "Are there vampires?" This movie pretty much goes boom, and he's like, "Oh shit, vampires."
Well, this movie
But
does.
we'll talk about it.
There's a key thing there, which is not obviously that Charlie's not the impetus of, he's one of the naysayers at the beginning,
Right. Yes,
But yeah,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about yes, Craig Gillespie, an interesting choice for this. He's coming off of a real critical darling in Lars and the Real Girl,
Right.
which is a real quiet, sensitive indie comedy that I love with Ryan Gosling.
Yep.
But like
It's
not
an early
immediately.
Gosling showcase.
It's a great. I think it's one of the. We talk about this a lot. I think aside from just the inherent premise of it, the actual tone of it is one of the better like modern Capra-esque films.
Yeah. It's one that gets a lot closer without being a shameless kind of literally beat for beat.
Yeah.
Which is things like, with all due respect to Mr. Darabont, things like The Majestic.
Which I
They're
really
movies
like, but
that.
is yes more.
Yeah, but it's so obvious.
Yes.
It's just so obvious, like going,
It's period
"Capra,"
set.
and
It's
you're like,
period
"All right,
set.
all
It's
right."
shot in this golden hue that, even though it's not black and white, kind of has this very old Hollywood feel to it.
Yeah, so it's being very
Yeah.
on the nose, which
But-
I think it's trickier to do something what we were talking about with Lars and the Real Girl, which is capture the tone and the heart of something like that.
But it's so interesting.
Without just going, we're copying.
Like
everything.
reading about the trivia of this, where it's like Colin Farrell signed on because he loved Lars and the Real Girl, and he's like, I trust that guy. But it's just like, but as a vampire, it's just so. But one of the things I like about Gillespie is he's kind of a hard guy to pin down. You talk about this is only entry in this genre. It's like then he goes from this to he makes a Disney sports movie with John Hamm. He did a movie that I feel like is very underseen called The Finest Hours, which is a boat movie with Chris Pine. And then he does I, Tonya, which I just loved so much.
I thought he was great.
And then he does Cruella, which is way better than it has any fucking business being. Cruella is shockingly good.
I don't want to watch it.
I'm telling you, man, it's really good. It's
Like the
really
star,
very good.
Like the director, I don't like that thing.
It's very good. And then he just did his last movie as of the recording of this was Dumb Money, about the GameStop stock thing, which was also great.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard good things. I think Chad's a big fan
but I
of it.
think the thing we're excited about is that he's going to be directing the Supergirl movie.
Yep.
And I will say
Yep.
this is maybe of his movies the most that shows his like impetus for doing like a special effects movie.
Yeah, and there's action in this, which is almost devoid in everything else we've mentioned.
Yes. The Finest Hours has some action, but it's more realistic. It's on the seas. It's a different kind of thing. But anyway, he had also directed on the show The United States of Terror, which is obviously how you get Toni Collette in this movie.
And Toni Collette. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about this cast. We're not there yet.
This cast is a huge part of course, the reason this movie is so good. It really is almost every part is cast with somebody who's fantastic. Like it's really across the board. So let's get the Fright Night. Let's go through the movie. We'll talk about the people as they come up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Immediately, I remember sitting in the theater loving and it felt very appropriate, the kind of old school, almost hammery music that starts, the like, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, the tone, because like, Fright, one of the reasons I think we both love Fright Night so much was, especially when it came out, was such a shock of the new, kind of like, oh, this is like a horror movie it's not to the Scream levels of the 90s, but like it's aware, it's winking, but indulging. It's a very specific tone that, once again, when you talk about this should be a disaster, is because that tone we've seen be totally mismanaged countless times.
Absolutely. It's a thing where you sit there going, it's not enough to kind of show your chops about, oh, I watched all that stuff when I was a kid and I'm throwing it back up on the screen. that is surface level. It's about, do you actually know how to turn a story like this towards parody but avoid parody, and instead just say, I'm giving you characters that are aware of tropes, and yet they're in a real world situation where the tropes are not going to be so identifiable. I mean, the original's concept is great on its own, and I love that he still gets, of course, story credit here, because it is still the same beats.
And he, by the way,
yeah,
and I was kind of sad to see, he really is like, I fucking hate that remake.
he does.
Yeah, and I'm like, I get where, okay, it's not your movie, but like, I would think Tom Holland would be enough of an appreciator of film that he would go like, I see what they've done here, because I think this movie is in no way shitting on the original, and is blazing its own trail in really smart ways that also don't feel like they're trying to one up or be more clever necessarily.
No, I mean, the main shift, besides time frame, the main shift is it's not as funny. I mean,
it
this
is,
one
and
goes
yes,
darker.
It does,
but other than that, the core of what he came up with is still there. It's the vampire next door. The
it's
kid who is not
Rear
believed,
Window with a
all that
vampire, right?
stuff.
Isn't that sort of the elevator pitch? Rear Window with a vampire in the suburbs, right? The sort of the thing about it. And one of the things I love in Marty Noxon's script here is the move to Vegas, because I love the idea of, it's a perfect hunting ground for a vampire. It's a city that lives at night. You know, you can live as a vampire, and like even the line about like, well, he's blacked out his windows. Like, everybody does that. They work at night here in Vegas.
They could have done a little nod to Jeff Rice too. It is like, oh, okay, it's Kolchak. You know, it's like,
sure,
that's the thing.
But like,
it is the perfect place to put a vampire story.
But it's just like nothing about his vampire lifestyle seems strange in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
like I think that's a great idea, and immediately, and then, okay. Once again, I think that's the thing when you're talking about the smart changes, is you go like, okay, it's Vegas, it's 2011, because one of the first things we see, we come out of a stormy clouds into this. Number one, I love the suburban neighborhood just stuck in the middle of the desert. It just boom, you know.
And also, this movie has, one of its faults is some not great CG.
Yeah, I mean, some of that is the time period. Yeah.
The logos, the text that comes up, and it's made of strands of blood.
Really cool.
And as it sort of comes toward you, and we're doing an overview shot of that suburb, the way they're trickling off into, I was like, that's really cool.
The other thing I think about the CGI comment, and I definitely clocked it this time, and I think unfortunately is going to be something we've talked about before and we'll continue to talk about for the next several movies, just because of the time period. 3D was definitely at play here. This movie was definitely pitched as and there's a lot of things coming at the camera in this movie that now really read as like, oh god.
Every time something flew at me, I was like, no, I didn't pay for 3D.
Yeah,
just give me the movie.
And that's the thing, is you can feel that studio exec going through the script going, 3D shot here, 3D shot there. Yeah, because I do remember, I didn't see it in 3D, but I do remember this was Fright Night 3D, you know, like awesome. Everything was. And I think
just so
I mean, we
awesome.
talked about that with Priest. Like, good or bad, every movie is affected by, if you're like a studio summer
this
release.
This is that time period where it's coming back.
And
you do realize it is funny that we're still in this chunk of time where this and IP Squad have totally synced up.
I know, right?
Literally within weeks of a movie we're going to talk about on the other podcast. Is this, and we're always sitting there going like, geez, because we're about to talk about the Adventures of Tintin on the other podcast.
A total 3D jam.
Yeah, when I went into Letterboxd to put this in, I was like, oh, it's right next to
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah,
1-2 punch.
Yeah, I mean, then that was the thing, and I was definitely.
But that was excellent.
I was never aboard the. Well, animation always works better in 3D, right? Yes, I mean, I feel like that was always the thing about it, was because it's, you know, you're already removed. I was never aboard the 3D train. I was always like, oh, for fuck's sake, waiting, and knowing, I'm not even patting myself on the back like for this, but like we all knew this is gonna phase out, right? Like, and it has. Now we're in a world where I think some stuff. I think they still release movies in 3D, but it's not promoted, and it's like maybe a screening a day. That's just no longer the thing anymore. But we come down through the clouds into this neighborhood, into a house that is showing an ad for Peter Vincent welcomes you to Fright Night.
This was smart because one of the first things they're trying to do here is to let you know what's different.
Yeah.
And one of the first things they're going to do is basically say, and of course, a lot of people went to this movie in 2011. I'm going to assume we're younger folks who had never even seen the original, so whatever.
Sure.
But here, for the fans, it's basically saying, here's our take on Peter Vincent. He is Chris Angel mind freak.
Yeah.
He is Las Vegas illusionist. But supposedly a very knowledgeable, guy who knows the occult.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing he's which is I think really smart on two levels for the 2011 time period and for the Vegas setting. It works on both of those levels because there is no horror like that doesn't and that was one of the big things a lot of fans were like, what are you gonna do with Peter Vincent, because that concept doesn't exist. I mean, I feel like the only thing you could have done is like he's at conventions as an old horror actor, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Because they had, even in the original, back in the day, the whole thing was the horror hosts are on their way out.
Yeah,
it was something they were already talking about there. He's like, oh, they don't need me anymore. No one wants to see a horror host. And the
thing I like about him being the Chris Angel illusionist, though, is that he's still, even though he's got like a popularity and a following, that's still somebody that people roll their eyes at. They're like, oh, God.
Yeah.
There's a cheesiness inherent to him. It's just a different kind of cheesiness. And we'll get to...
the original, I kept going like, well, it's really lucky for him that the local horror host was a major film actor in his day, but now lives in his town.
Right.
Here, it's Vegas. So, yeah, all those performers, they live in Vegas because they do nightly shows. Well, so he can easily go to whatever hotel Peter Vincent lives
Which he does. But I also love the way the ad is like, it'll scare you beyond belief. And this is like, now appearing at the Mirage Hotel. It's like, it's the hardship to that. But I love...
his act is also... His act is horror movie themed.
Yeah.
So he actually has vampire set pieces and things like that.
We'll get to... When the rehearsal we see is fantastic of like, fuck you, beast. But yeah, we come through this house. Gillespie loves a oneer, which he does a lot in this movie, and that's across all of his films. He comes in through that. There's a dog eating a pizza, and immediately you get that something's off about this house. The TV's on, no one's watching it. The dog is eating his pizza.
This movie jumps right in.
Yep. I mean, which I kind of like, once again, for like you came to a vampire movie.
Yeah, this one isn't trying to do the whole, as I said, it's not trying to do this thing can't exist. This movie is literally, because the other movie is trying to put you in Charlie's shoes.
Right.
This movie really doesn't, even though Charlie's the main character. This movie starts outside of Charlie. This movie starts with, just as you're saying, we're in this house where there's a teenage kid who we'll find out is a friend of Charlie's, but he's running through his house trying to grab weapons, and he's hearing growls and screams.
And he's finding people with their throats. I mean, one of the big things, too, that I got to say that I'm so glad, and I'll give this credit to the studio for doing this, could totally imagine somebody insisting on PG-13 for this.
Yeah, this thing benefits from R, and it's not R in... I would say this movie doesn't go exploitative.
It's bloody where it needs to be bloody. Like, that's the thing.
Yes, exactly.
It neither
his mom is
holds
dead,
back nor
his
indulges.
dad is dead.
Yeah.
And he...
I love the bit when he gets the gun and he's going to use the lock on the trigger. Great little touch.
That is a great little touch, because it is something I hadn't seen before in a film, which is his dead dad was holding a gun, and he's now under the bed hiding, but he sees dad's gun, he grabs it, and it has the trigger lock on it. So then he has to search in his dead dad's pocket to find his keys. So the whole thing is him with his shaking hands trying to unlock the gun, which he succeeds in doing, and then the gun lock falls and makes a noise. I gotta say, I do love the fact that every time they creep in this movie trying to hide from, it's like they play with it a lot, but Jerry knows they're there.
Yeah. I love the little moment too where the gun lock falls and then you just see the vampire fingers just lightly and be like,
Yeah.
Or the moment where the camera's focused on the kid unlocking the gun, and in the background, out of focus, we see the father's body get slid away.
Yes, and then
Gillespie,
what?
I want him to make more horror. He's really good at all the horror shit in this.
Yeah, there's some genuine tension in a lot of these bits, even if you know where they're going. But here, the nice breaking of the trope is what you're expecting is, of course, he now has a gun.
Yeah.
And you're expecting him to go bang, 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 and the vampire to go, no problem.
That's kind of
what
the
I
other
love
thing
about this is
I like about is all of this is all for naught anyway, because we know the gun won't do anything to begin with.
I know,
yeah.
but the thing is that they don't do that.
They don't
because
do that,
instead they grab him. I mean, he is grabbed by the vampire, and the gun just falls out of his hand because he's too afraid. He never even gets to fire it off. It is so like, oh, that's brutal, and he's just dead.
It kind of sets a good tone for this movie of like, there's gonna be a lot of we're gonna do the thing but not do the thing, but then indulge in it sometimes, and then there's an inherent cleverness to this opening scene that's gonna speak to. Like, I definitely, after this scene, I was like, okay, there's people thinking here, which is what I want. Yeah. I want a Fright Night movie to be clever. I think that's the most important thing, is I didn't want the dumbed down, while this one is more of a horror movie. I think this also just is, the other thing I think, and particularly watching it today, having watched the, couple months ago or whatever that we did the 80s movie a couple of years ago, probably, I don't know time anymore, but, is this does feel like, oh, this is that movie if they had not only modern technology, but real, like, this is a big studio movie. The first one definitely was a B picture, sort of surprise hit. I don't think this one really has the backing of a studio behind it. You can feel that.
Yes.
You talk about there is a gloss to this, but I don't think it's anonymous, studio junk gloss that when we talk about that.
No, and it's just that care was taken at various levels. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's studio. The studio, of course, is just giving money. But care was taken by the writer, Marty Noxon.
Definitely.
Care was taken by the director. And of course the cast. But they're all setting out to not make a shitty movie.
No.
And you can feel it here. They're like going, it could just be beat for beat a rehash of what people saw before, or we can do something interesting and new. And I find this movie to really have made a perfect middle ground.
Yes.
Where I'm sitting there going like, oh, good. I was so afraid it would be shitty rehash. Or something that was this ain't your daddy's.
That's the thing.
And neither.
It neither relies too much on the original movie, nor does it do a thing that I think upsets us a lot, where it's like, okay, you're purposely doing something just to be different, where the original movie had it right. And it never feels like that thing that also drives me insane, where it's just like, we know better than those stupid idiots in the 80s, right? No, it all just feels like, oh no, this is what you would do now.
Yeah.
This is that's why I always say, like, I do, it doesn't supplant my love for the original movie, but I watch them both. Like, I really do like both of them quite a bit.
Yes.
This is a rare remake that I think stands alongside the original.
I'm in agreement, which surprised me. So
I'm glad.
Yay.
I thought you would be, because I knew what movie we were watching, and I've watched this several times. So we're introduced to Charlie. We'll just rip the tragic Band-Aid off.
Man.
Dude, this guy, I was a massive Anton Yelchin fan, because
I've only seen him in a few things, just because. But everything I'd ever seen him in, I was like, that guy has got it.
That's it. He just had likable.
He's so likable.
And he is the perfect choice for this movie, because he is a leading man, but a relatable one. He's better looking.
He's Tom Hanksy in a way.
He's cooler than Ragsdale was, but he's not a CW guy.
No.
And I think
here we've come to my first nitpick. We're gonna meet we're meeting Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
In just a couple of seconds, we will meet the new version of what's the
Amy? Amy, yeah.
Who was Amanda Bierce's character in the first movie. My only complaint, and has nothing to do. She is such a good actor, and I've seen her in plenty of stuff. She's good here.
Yeah, she's really good here. I think she actually, and this is not a slight on Marty, but I think she actually brings more personality than is on the page. Even.
Yes.
She is not just the hot girlfriend. She finds a character. She finds a sense of humor and a voice in it.
But it's the hot thing that I think is the only problem here.
I radically disagree with you on this, but okay.
It's okay because I liked the core trio of the original. You have a very obvious nerd. Mm-hmm. You have his weird friend who is perfectly cast, and I'm sorry that guy had such a hard life, but he was interesting in everything I ever saw him in. Because he is just interesting.
Stephen Jeffries.
Stephen Jeffries. And then Amanda Beers was a cutie. Mm-hmm. I mean, undeniably, but not unattainable. This shift here does feel a little CW. It's only about the aesthetics. Amy and her friends are all hot model perfect.
Yes.
The bullies are hot jock perfect. So it's very CW.
Although very smart to cast an incredibly funny guy as the hot model perfect. Like Franco's such a good comedic actor and does a lot with a little. Once again, talk about a very flatly written part that is accented by weird choices. But I know, shockingly, a Franco making weird choices.
Yelchin is as we said, he's approachably, realistically cute guy, and I'm like, okay, and of course, personality-wise, he's got it all day long.
But to get back to why one of the things I really like about Marty Noxon's script, and one of the key differences between the Holland script is that's on purpose, though. They have purposely. Well,
it is a movie
about.
How did you get her? And the whole thing is that they grew up together. They've always been a pair.
But it's not that exactly. I mean, the idea being that part of this movie that is not part of the Holland movie is he is becoming a popular kid and he's leaving the nerdy stuff. So he's got the hot girl. It also adds to this thing about like there's an inherent. I mean, and you can have this even if your girlfriend is not Imogen Poots, but this idea that he's like, shit, I'm gonna lose her. This when his mom's like, how's Amy? He's like, haven't broken up with me yet. I don't know.
They do play with it,
and especially when Jerry is like, yeah, I got her, man. I mean, the whole thing about she is ripe.
Oh well, that's kind of what Jerry was doing in the other one, only not as.
One note that I like on this movie better, just because I always thought it was such an unnecessary beat, is the thing about. Her being the looking like the girl that he loved from the past and the original.
Yeah.
That was always unnecessary in the Holland movie. Just the idea that he's just like, this girl's hot and I'm going to just make her my bride. It doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah. And this Jerry Dandridge apparently has a goal. Whereas the other one was just he found a new place to roost.
Well, this gets into, and I feel like that's also a more modern thing that I like, of course. But like the idea that's like, oh, well, this guy, like we're going to define this guy comes from a kind of vampire that creates a hive of vampires. Okay, yeah,
and that he is building a new base.
I feel like in the in the 80s that you just didn't see that as much in movies. Where I feel like the modern audiences want a little bit more lore and mythos in genre stuff, or like, oh, okay, yeah. But I like that though. I like that it feels like he's hanging out with the cool, sexy kids, leaving his friend behind. I also think
I don't have time for my weird.
The thing that really,
anymore.
And I think the thing that really saves it is what we're talking about, which is Imogen Poots isn't just plain sexy girl.
No, again, I'm only talking about that gloss where it sits, and I sit there going like. Weirdly, I think this would have worked better if there was a more realistically attractive.
I actually think
Imogen Poots is in that realm of like she is transcendently beautiful and therefore and crazy hot, and you're like, wow, there's just it's a shame that she's such a good actor simply because what's holding her back probably from getting even better roles, and now that she's aging out of it, that's probably helping. But she's just too beautiful. So I found that distracting when I'm trying to deal with the story of realistic high school kids fighting vampires. It's like, well, there's nothing realistic about these people who have unbelievable genes.
Can I also posit this, though? I mean, I think in a certain way
you can posit whatever the fuck you want. You posit
I think the Vegas setting kind of works for this, too, though.
I did think that too.
Because we don't really know, we
like,
don't get to know
right,
her parents, but her parents might be
it's
show
like,
people or something.
yes,
You know,
exactly. It could be
like the idea, Vegas or L.A. or those settings could be
I
places
certainly
where
lived in LA and
where
noticed
just
how
gorgeous
beautiful
people are about,
are
much more
everywhere.
so
Yeah.
than, and, no offense to the people of my beloved hometown, but you
Yes,
know,
yes.
I don't see a lot of people that look like Imogen Poots walking around the streets of Portland. Not that there aren't
I
plenty
am
of
looking
attractive people. Yeah,
every day.
and every day I'm looking. No,
Every day I'm looking.
but I hadn't. This is the first place I ever saw her, and was I became a fan of hers after this. Not only because she's stunning, but I thought, wow, she's really good. And I did not know she was
an
British.
actual character.
I did not know she was a Brit. Her American accent is flawless in this.
Is flawless.
Yeah, I mean,
In fact, I think I maybe there were a couple of bits where Colin Farrell and she had a little slip here or there, but really, really well done.
So immediately though we establish, and you're like, oh, this girl's in trouble. When Charlie's walking home and he talks to the hot neighbor who lives, which is also a thing I love later when she talks about she's a stripper. It's like, she's a go-go dancer. Like the idea, that's the Vegas thing once again.
Go-go dancer, and she's like, yeah, 2 pieces of cloth are all that's keeping her from being.
But it's like, yeah, this is the Vegas thing. Okay, his mom's a realtor, but the woman down the street is a go-go dancer. You know, it's like it creates this weird world.
If you're going to cast appealing and realistically sexy mom too, Toni Collette.
I mean,
who again, flawless American accent.
Well, yeah, we've known. I mean, and also just one of the best actors out there. This woman can do anything.
Toni Collette. Love her.
Here's the thing: is like this role. Talk about once again. This role's kind of underwritten, but she brings a lot to it.
And she's conveniently laid out for like the third act.
Yeah, I mean that does really feel like, okay, there you go, audience. You don't have to worry about the mom now, okay?
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the mom, and she'll be safe.
Yeah, don't worry, that's fine. Great. But once again, Gillespie, very smart director, knowing if I put Toni Collette in this role, immediately we as an audience are going to be like, okay, yeah, all right, I like her, and she's very charming right off the front, and. Of course, what's she doing when we first meet her? She's putting yard stakes in the back of her car, which will come back later, and it's fun.
That's very clever. Show, don't tell, and it's just there. You will recall it. I mean, he does do some things that are really... But anytime he does something that's very directed, like, make sure you're noticing this, the audience is already there. Yeah. It's not something where the audience is like, we could have figured out... Like... When they eventually, he knows that Jerry's a vampire, or at least he strongly suspects it, and the whole thing with the beers, and they keep cutting down to Jerry's foot just right next to the the edge of the doorway. And you're like, yeah.
I also like in that thing where he holds the beer back a little bit out, and then he slowly reaches it toward. There's a lot of all the once again great tension in that.
That scene is really good.
It's really good. So yeah, but immediately the mom is also upset about, oh God. This guy next door, this dumpster's been in his driveway forever. I don't think he's digging a pool back there. So immediately and of course that all comes back to when he has his vampire nest, which I love the way the vampires are in the dirt later in the movie. All that stuff. Yeah. Very cool. And all new for this movie. And then Amy rolls up with her friends. And not only are they all hot, but they're in a cool modern VW Bug that's mint green. Yeah. Like 100%. Those are the kind of girls that you're like that we're evil Eds. I mean, let's be honest. This is 2 evil Eds doing the show. But I mean, this is the kind of I do remember girls like that in high school.
I brushed up against being a Charlie. I close.
I think you might have been closer to a Charlie than I ever was. I was firmly an evil Ed in high school. Though as this movie shows, and always a movie thing, never was I seized upon like Dave Franco comes after him in this, though.
No.
I was like, at least in my high school, it was so big that, there were enough people that I just had a pocket. Nobody like, and who I was just listening to somebody talk about this where they go like, the hot kids are never mean to you. They don't even think about you. It's the ugly, it's the like, the rich kid who isn't handsome that is beating you up.
Right. Yeah, there's that. But
like Dave Franco shouldn't give a shit about Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
No. But the whole thing of him literally just kind of waiting for him to ride a bike by so he could beat the crap out. I'm like, what
Yeah.
the hell is this kind of world? But
Yeah.
I will say another clever bit. Marty Noxon knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
The whole thing is, let's just slip this in as he's getting in the car with the popular girls who are going to drive him to school.
Yeah.
Because Amy is of that breed, but she and Charlie are already together. Is the mom going, will you please return your friend Ed's calls, because he keeps trying to get in touch with you, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry,
the mom actually says, I'm tired of making excuses for you to, like, I like the idea that the mom is like, it's getting sad.
Yeah. And actually this did ring some bells. I in 8th grade had a kid named Jeff was my friend, and one of my first friends when I got to Texas, and he was nerd, and he was very lonerish, and but we were friends for a bit. We went fishing, we would do stuff like that. When high school started, I'd already made kind of headway, and I had a new group of friends that were, somewhat on a different level, and just I didn't return Jeff's calls enough. I would see him in the halls and just go like nod, and our friendship was kind of over because I was like, I'm in a different level now.
I don't know if you've heard Apatow and Fig talk about that was going to be the main thrust of the second season of Freaks and Geeks, was going to be Sam becoming popular, because they could see cool. John Francis Daley was growing into like a handsome guy. Yeah, and the hints were already there, but like that, they said that would have been the thrust of the Geek storyline in the second season, which I think is a very. I think that's the thing I like about this. This just feels very real to me, where it's like Ed's not a bad guy, but he's just like, I mean, the scene when it's harsh when he yells at him, he's like, I fucking grew up, man. I don't care about fantasy and space shit anymore.
Yeah, and that was very, very real.
Yeah,
and they did that very well because again, you had good actors.
Really good actors.
Whether or not it's, I mean, again, I'm still surprised to some degree, not that it doesn't work, but still surprised to some degree how quickly they move us into the plots of our friends are being killed off and you haven't noticed, and then Ed is turned so quickly in this movie.
But then it's out of the movie for a long stretch until he comes back.
Which I do think it's weird that at no point, this was a small nitpick where I'm like, hey, Marty, if I'm tracking the story well enough, a couple of days have passed, and even though we've met Ed's parents, who were very, very nice, of course, and they're like, oh, hey, welcome back there, Charlie. Oh, yeah, you can go up there. Oh, he hasn't gotten back home yet. But then, like, 2 days later, still before we see Vampire Ed, wouldn't Ed's parents be calling Charlie's mom and going, have you seen Ed?
That 100%. I'm not saying, I don't know that this actually was ever in the movie, but that feels like something that was a deleted scene. I don't know that it was, but it does feel like that was, especially because his parents are Lisa Loeb and Brian Husky. Also very good, which I love, particularly Brian Husky being Christopher Mintz-Plaza's father.
Yes.
I mean, a dead ringer.
Lisa Loeb, cute nerd lady. Mm-hmm. That makes perfect sense.
Or if you were a 90s or early 2000s nerd, you had a crush on Lisa Loeb because
everyone did.
My God, yeah. I mean, she was the cool artsy girl
wearing those cute little glasses.
Yeah,
I even watched maybe an episode or two of her reality show about her trying to get a date. Remember that?
Kind of. Yeah, I never did watch it. She had
like a full season Lisa Loeb trying to find love reality show where she.
That's one of those where I'm like, I'm shocked that woman was unable to find. But okay. I mean, look, I don't know.
According to those dates, some of those guys were creepy. But anyway,
I'm shocked.
But anywho,
but once again, so when we go to school, he's now hanging out with. He's sort of forced to hang out with, because he's with the cool kids, Dave Franco, and I want to shout out this other guy because I like him a lot, Reed Ewing.
The guy who's just the stoner guy?
Yeah, who I know from Modern Family, which I know you never watched, but he's very funny.
I don't know.
He's very, very funny on Modern Family. He's sort of this character on Modern Family. He's the oldest daughter's boyfriend who's harmless but pretty stupid on there.
That seems to be his
Yeah.
wheelhouse. I
It's a
thought
very
he was very good at being that
yeah.
person.
So yeah, he's this, but in 63 episodes of Modern Family.
Okay, great. Does he fight vampires at any point or get turned?
There's some of those later seasons take a supernatural turn, as you might expect.
Yeah. They do some time travel and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Ty Burrell becomes a werewolf or something by the end. I don't know.
It becomes Dark Shadows,
Yeah.
which got a shout out in this movie.
It sure. I mean, once again, something I like when Professor Mintz-Plasse is talking about their nerdy activities is that they went to a Farscape convention. That's where I'm going, like Marty Noxon, because she knows, like, nerdier than the Trek convention is the Farscape convention.
Yeah. Though I would do that because Farscape was a delight.
Farscape ruled. We stand a Farscape on this show.
We do.
Once again, because it's a couple of evil Eds hosting this show. But anyway, yeah, I do like where it's like, he's like, hey, man, Franco's on him for drinking a mochaccino. He's like, lame. And then I love, once again, the little, and this is Marty Knox and Buffy, writing for sure, when he's like, oh, hey, Amy, I meant to go. Yeah, obviously, we're going to get tickets to the prom, right? And she's like, we don't go to the cool kids. Don't go to the prom.
No one goes to the dance.
And he's like, oh, yeah, of course. Like, just once again, it's like, this is a guy who doesn't. Yeah, I don't know what the cool kids do. He's still a nerd within that. I think enough. I really, it's. And then the thing about the missing kids is just them calling roll in class, and like 5 kids are missing.
Even the teacher is hot.
Which, I mean, maybe she tried to make it as a Vegas showgirl and it didn't work. And so, I mean, I think the Vegas setting, it may, that may just be my headcanon, but yeah.
But that is a clever device, because we return to roll call a couple times in the movie,
and there's less kids
obviously
every time.
The one that really registers is when Ed is missing, and he's like, "Oh fuck!"
That's when he's got to take action at that point.
He has to take action. He has no choice.
Yeah. And so Ed is like, "Hey man, I need to talk to you," and immediately. Dave Franco's just so fucking awful. The better, I will say, Dave Franco does this same character. Not better, but just it's more expanded in 21 Jump Street.
Oh, I gotta watch that eventually. I hear
it's
good.
So very good. Both of them are really good. The second one is way better than it should be. Like, I can't believe they were able to find another way into it. I mean, they did the funny thing of this time we're going to college. But of course, the running joke in that you would enjoy is the idea that
everyone.
Yeah, the fact that there's something off about you. And Channing Tatum's like, what? It's just like, I don't know, the fact that you look like a fucking 40-year-old man. It's great. But yeah, he basically plays this same part, but as a major character in that. But anyway, so his whole thing is, hey man, our friend is missing, is what Ed is saying. Our third nerdy friend. Nobody's seen him in days. We'll come to find out that was the kid at the beginning that we saw get killed.
Right.
And
the other one that used to make
he's like,
videos.
You've got to come help me. And the only way he's able to convince him is like, otherwise I will release all this nerdy video footage I have of you.
That is, I mean, this movie is doing a more perhaps realistic take on the suddenly popular kid with the nerd friend.
I think that makes sense with the Marty Knox, because that was so much of Buffy was about the high. I don't think Tom Holland
antagonistic friendship, simply because Ed is resentful to a poisonous degree, because instead of just going like, dude, you're hurting my feelings, he's literally just angry. He's full of rage, and he's kind of going, I will ruin you. It's like, yeah, you're going to hang out with me. This is important. And if you don't, I'm going to blackmail you with all these nerd videos that we did when we were younger. Plus, there's a big homoerotic thing in this movie that they hint at with Ed and Charlie, which, that's fine too, where it's kind of implied that Ed has always had a crush on Charlie.
And it's, but it's vague, and I like the way it's employed. It's vague enough that it's not overt. And he's also not vilified for being homosexual.
No, not at all. It's not played that way. But it's just, it's like, I'll tell you, I've got all these videos of us dressing up in tights doing, LARPing. And there's also that time, I'll tell him about the time you borrowed my Stretch Armstrong to whack off with.
Yeah. Once again, I like that.
I'm going to need that back.
That's also part of the R-rated thing of it as well. These are high schoolers talking like high schoolers. You know, it's. I mean, her ear. I mean, Marty Noxon has, outside of Buffy, written a lot of stuff about young adults because I think she's got a strong ear for that kind of dialogue.
Yes.
And she's also not awful like Joss Whedon, so I can still love that she does stuff.
I want her to stay unproblematic. That is my goal.
Yep.
That's my wish.
Absolutely. She also worked on.
I need to like someone that's connected to the creative side.
Yeah.
Of Buffy and Angel. That'd be nice.
I didn't watch Sharp Objects. That was the last thing she did. The HBO show. But
again, if there's no vampires or ghosts, or
what am I even doing, man?
What am I even doing?
She did work on Mad Men though, which is that's a pretty good thing to have on your resume. Although nothing problematic about that creator.
Nope.
All right. So when Charlie comes home, though, because he kind of blows off Ed until Ed once again really is like, look, I've got the video. He comes home and he sees his mom talking to the hunky new neighbor. This is the first look we get at. I mean, never a bad-looking guy, but particularly smoldering by design, obviously, in this. And
by design.
That's true in the original movie, and Chris Sarandon looks great. But I will say, he was never a Colin Farrell. Even he was a good-looking guy.
A different kind of hotness.
Yeah, and I think more of an '80s hunk versus a 2011 hunk. I do think.
Yeah, and this hunk is again scientifically designed.
Yes.
This is the kind of Stanley Kukowski. This is sort of
he's in the tight tee.
Yeah, that whole thing of like because Jerry Dandridge in the first one is going to appeal to any of the housewives because he is handsome but safe. They literally have him in sweaters and stuff like that in the first one.
Yeah.
And that is very 80s. But here, this guy is in the tight T-shirt. He's got the little armband for no reason, the little wristband. I made some leather wristband because I'm a badass.
Yeah.
And he just keeps doing the very Brando thing of like, but this is a Colin Farrell when he's being sexy thing is like constantly looking up. It's I'm looking, ducked my head and I'm looking up. It's like, yeah, you can't resist these eyebrows and these eyes.
This is the thing about this. Once again, though, when you hire, I mean, legitimately one of my favorite actors. I think Colin Farrell is one of the best actors.
Colin Farrell's great.
But that's the thing is every move he makes in this is so calculated. So. And we talked about Sarandon studying bats to play Jerry. Farrell looked at sharks. There's the line that's in the movie about he's the shark from Jaws, but that's the thing is Farrell's like, this guy's an apex predator.
You know what else he watched? He watched his buddy Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Sure.
No, there are a couple of bits there where one thing he plays really well is he of course is a master vampire, but even it's that sort of I'm overwhelmed by my hunger and thirst. So he does those like ecstatic eye rolls to the sky before he bites. And then there's also a few times where he's like, he does like a little dip in, like I'm going to, no, I can't, but I'm going to, but I can't. He's like trying to control himself. And you're like, that is really well done. But yeah,
always the thing about that guy. When he first came on the scene, everybody was like, God, how handsome this guy is. And but you're like, oh no, he's actually one of the best actors of his generation. Like, and this movie plays on his looks, but also it's given him a lot to do, and he's doing a lot with it. Not to bring it down again, but originally cast in this role was Heath Ledger, which I think he would have been similar.
Yeah, I think he would have been.
I think
similar.
they have a similar skill set as actors
and a similar energy.
Yeah,
where it's a handsome guy who seems
Ledger would have been amazing in it. I have no doubt. And of course,
anyone else you want to talk about that's dead? Do you want to?
I know both of. I mean, Yelchin and Ledger, I have such similar feelings about. We're just so cut down.
We got robbed
of two guys who we would be talking about now as two of the best out there. I mean, we would be talking about them in the same breath as Farrell. Just a huge loss, both of those guys. Anyway, this is a fun movie, though. This is a fun movie.
This is a fun movie.
So anyway,
and I gotta say, it wasn't because it caught me up enough. I mean, that I was involved in it. very quickly, I did not think that I was watching, an actor that's not with us anymore. Anton Yelchin's performance, I was there the whole way. When pretty much the second it was over, I was like, "Fuck! Why isn't there more Anton Yelchin in the world?"
Dude, if you
because he's great.
have you seen? Did you see? Oh God, what is it? Is it Charlie Barrett? Is that the name of the movie?
Charlie Barrett, yes.
Which was sort of his Ferris Bueller-esque.
Yeah.
And he's great in it. It's a great teen movie that and Robert Downey Jr. is fantastic in it. People should check that out. But just, I never saw, and then he and Imogen Poots are both in Green Room, which I fucking loved.
I haven't seen that.
You got to see Green Room. It is
another pairing of Yelchin and Poots.
Another Yelchin with a villainous Patrick Stewart going for it, man.
All right. Okay.
I can't recommend that movie enough. I love that movie. I'm sold. And filmed here in Oregon. Yeah, which is I was like, ooh, Patrick Stewart's in town. He did, insist on that restraining order against me, of course. But
right, that's where that was. Yeah,
actually, all the Star Trek captains have standing restraining orders against me. I can't go anywhere near Bakula.
But if you do, take garlic and crosses.
Yeah, Bakula loves this movie, but he's so sad that Jerry doesn't win at the end. Man, how come my people never do what they want to do?
I also really like the constant every time. It's like, that guy is a vampire, and they're like, your neighbor Jerry, and then everyone goes, Jerry the vampire.
It's great. It's
they just
great.
keep like going, the vampire's name is Jerry.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing about when you talk about the first movie. We're in Charlie's shoes. Here we the audience know he's a vampire and there are vampires around, but that the world has to be convinced character by character by character.
Yet I do think they all very quickly. They do.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that in terms of runtime they really do, because when we go to, he meets Ed at the house. Ed has a bag full of vampire kill. He's got holy water and crosses and stakes.
Yeah.
And Charlie's like, well, yeah, I'm kind of worried about our friend.
Having a nerdgasm at the end when everyone's strapping in. I was just sitting there going, this is John's favorite part of the entire movie.
Yeah, and I think you know what my favorite weapon in the movie is.
I know exactly what it is.
And I've seen it in person up at the Museum of Pop Culture.
Really?
They have David Tennant's stake gun from this movie on display up there at the right in a glass case next to the machine gun crossbow from Van Helsing, which I also They did have to go search.
Did you curate that exhibit? Were you the curator?
It does feel like that. They also have in the science fiction, because that's in the horror section. In the science fiction section, there is 3 glass cases that are just sci-fi guns from sci-fi, and it's just like, sir, you have to stop slobbering on the glass.
Do they have a Han Solo blaster?
Yes, they do. They have that. They have RoboCop's gun. They have they have pretty much everything you could imagine up there.
Right.
I can't recommend that
one
museum
enough.
I'm
gonna go.
The Museum of Pop Culture in Seattle is fantastic,
and they're our sponsor today.
I wish they'd be a great
sponsor.
But
actually, they would be.
I have photos of everything because I was like, oh my god, it's the stake gun from. Anyway, so yes, they get into the friend's house. Charlie's not really buying it, and then when he's like, Jesus Christ, Ed, you got stakes and shit. Okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, really?
And Ed, once again, because I clocked it, I wanted to look exactly. It's 45 minutes into this movie before we actually meet Peter Vincent. But we saw the ad. He goes, yeah, man, I got all this advice on vampires from Peter Vincent's website. He's like, oh God, the magician. Yeah, I like the way that they seed Peter Vincent through this, because he's, Charlie's not the fan of Peter Vincent like he was in the previous movie, because that's
a different take.
And because Charlie wouldn't
do anything than go to that guy for advice, but at the same time, he gets to a point where that's all he knows to do. Yeah.
So anyway, they get in a fight. Ed's like, and once again, what does he say? Oh, you're so cool, Brewster. Which I was like, nah. Nice.
Yeah.
Not in a winking way, in a way that fits. Once again, like everything.
Oh no, it's totally smart. and it plays different, because it is a thing where he's like going, where it's an angry thing. He goes, oh, because you're so cool, Brewster.
Yeah.
It's a different take.
Mintz Blas is so good in this movie.
He is, and he's not. He's
not doing the evil Ed.
he knew he was not playing the same Evil Ed.
And I
So
do
he's not trying.
remember this movie got a pretty positive reaction. But I do remember some internet chatter about like he's not Evil Ed and this Peter Vincent isn't, it's like no. And my response is like, agreed, they're
That's
not.
the point. Yeah, that's.
Do you want them to be that? Because that's the movie I wouldn't like, is if they were trying, if Tennant was trying to be Roddy McDowall, he's trying to be Jeffries, it's like, that would be a mistake. No, I think
It would be. It would be.
They make
that's
so many good
here.
decisions.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you can change anything as long as it works, if it works, then I applaud you. If it's a smart change.
And I think basically all the changes in this are like it's pretty good. So as we talked about, they leave the house. They don't find anything there because Jerry's, of course, cleaned up everything. It's not like they find the bodies of people there.
He's been doing it for a while.
Yeah. Franco attacks Ed because he's just like, you fucking nerd. Which once again, that to me that's just movie life. I mean, I'm sure it's happened to people, but the people who bully you for being a nerd. I mean, that's one of the things. Actually, speaking of Freaks and Geeks, one of the best castings of a bully, and I remember Apatow Ty goes, "I want a bully who's not bigger than them." Like, the idea that
I really like.
It's like an angry little guy would be. Dave Franco wouldn't give a shit about Evil Ed probably in real life.
Very true.
Yeah,
I really like the part where he says. He goes, look, just hit me.
Yeah, I don't have time.
He's like, look, you're gonna do it, so just go ahead, punch me, get it over with. And Franco's like, really? He's like,
now it's not fun for Franco anymore. Like he's like, yeah. But I also
he does duck out of the way, causing Franco to hit the car with his fist. And he's like, oh, you fuck.
And he's running through the backyards before he runs directly into the very sculpted chest of Colin Farrell.
Yeah. Colin Farrell is, I saw a lot of very thirsty comments from men and women on Letterboxd in the reviews of this, where people were going, Colin Farrell wants to turn me into part of his vampire army? Where do I sign up?
Well, I do.
People going, do it.
I do like the way this both indulges and turns against the sexy vampire. Like, it is sexy vampire as lure, as, that's the way he's going to entice you in.
Yeah.
Because I do like there was the line earlier about like you've been reading too much Twilight, and I love the way Ed is like blah 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 blah, and then finally goes, and I'm so mad that you think I read Twilight.
Yeah, that was very good.
That's good. That's very. I mean, that would have been me and any of my friends at this time being like, we like vampires, not those fucking stupid sparkly vampires. They suck. Mm-hmm. We used to. I think I might have told this on the show. We used to walk past the because we're cool kids hanging out in bookstores. We spent a lot of time in Barnes and Noble as kids because you went to the mall.
Of course.
This was before malls were a thing of the past, basically. But literally, when we would walk by the big cardboard display, Gorgoni would just put his middle finger out at it as he walked by the Twilight display. And I think about that now, and I'm just like, God, we were such assholes. Like, just like,
yeah.
Because it's just like, now my attitude is like, well, I don't like that. That's fine. I don't need to like live a life of hating that thing.
Don't let it go, John. You don't
Although
need that
we might have to
life.
talk about Twilight movies soon again. So anyway,
last one.
We got the 2-part finale.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So I do also like the thing where Ed is like, you're a vampire, you stay away from me, man. And he runs into her house. He goes, you can't come in. And then he does because he's like, it's an abandoned house.
Yeah, he goes, no one lives here. That means I don't have to ask for permission.
And then Ed runs upstairs, jumps off the roof, and Jerry's already just sitting there waiting for him. Great.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, again, these beats are fresh enough, and we have
just well done. Even if it's kind of stuff we're familiar with, it's just done really well.
Evil Ed believes, and he certainly is doing smart-ish things that a teenager would do. But the whole thing where he's like, okay, runs upstairs, escapes out the window, down sort of the slope, and he lands. I mean, not a long way, but it's at least a story. And he lands weird, and he's like, on his ankle. And then the thing is that Jerry is just sitting in a pool chair. He's watched the whole thing. And he just goes, yeah, that looked like that hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, goddamn.
That's the other thing.
And then he essentially kind of seduces Ed because they end up in the pool.
Yeah.
And Ed's got the crucifix up. He's like, yeah, look, here's the thing. I don't know why you want to fight me so bad. It's like I can give you power and stuff, and people make fun of you all the time, and it's like you know, you think this is a curse, but it's a gift. I'm gonna give you a gift right now.
They know because this was a DreamWorks produced movie. I don't know if is there a credited Spielberg producer credit on this. I
There
don't
isn't,
know.
but in the trivia
They
do
talk
say
about
that
the two things he added, and one of them is this shot of Ed letting go of the cross as it floats in the pool.
Yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
It's a good beat. Believe it or not,
Apparently he was, I mean, consulted a lot and would sit there and just kind of like, hey, you know, what about this?
I have heard that
And
about, and that's why I was looking. See, he's not an actual. So this is just from his studio. But I have heard if he has a producing credit, he does legitimately give notes. He's not a guy to just slap his name on something without at least some kind of, yeah, that looked good.
could do a lot worse than having Steven Spielberg just give you some little hints.
I mean, I think I heard somebody say this once, and I think it's true. Maybe the singularly most like gifted visual story, like just in terms of just having an innate, like he's
Yes.
basically a prodigy or whatever. Like just
Yep.
he
knows
it's
it's
just
like,
in his
oh,
mind.
you know what would be really poetic or what the perfect cap of
Yeah.
the scene would be is this.
And it's a great shot.
Wow.
And I can't imagine. I think the only problem with that is I would just take all of it. I would just immediately be like, oh, I'll never question. You Spielberg said I don't, even if he's steering me in the wrong direction.
Are you saying you would Toby Hooper the hell out of
Of course, whatever you want, Mr. Spielberg. You're the greatest. Like, I mean, really. Anyway, so yeah, Ed gets bitten, and then he's not in class. So Charlie's worried. He goes to his house where we talk about his parents, and they're like, "Oh yeah." I mean, I like the way the parents are like, Ed, he's always off doing something. Like this is a kid who's not around a lot anyway. Mm-hmm. So, and he goes, "Well, can I just go upstairs?" And they're like, "Sure."
He
And
goes,
so
yeah, there's a book up there we both need. And they're like, sure, absolutely. You know the way.
I like the way they're like, oh, good. Oh, Charlie's here. They're both just like, we haven't seen you in a while. Oh, they clearly like that Ed had a friend, and I think
Yes.
probably we're worried. Like, once again, it's a good scene. There's a lot in that scene that's unsaid. Yep. And both Husky and Loeb are really good.
Yep.
I do. Aside from she's very charming, but I am just like, did you just cast Lisa Loeb because she also has glasses? So obviously she's Chris Mintz-Plaza's mom.
Yeah. I mean, she's on screen for all of a minute and a half.
And like I said, it's one of those things where good. Like I like her, she's charming. So if you're gonna have somebody for just a second, get somebody good. And Brian Husky, I know, is in like every single like Apatow. He's just one of those faces I know. He's an improv guy in LA, and he's always funny. Because he really like he talks to Lisa Love, and then he comes, he's like, "Hey, Charlie!" Like, oh wow.
Yeah.
And he talks to
hey, you're getting kind of buff.
yeah, he talks about it. He
doing?
goes, "Ed said you'd really sprouted up." Wow.
Yeah,
Because I do like the idea that like, yeah, he's a guy who, because Anton Yelchin reads is that, right? It's like, oh yeah, this guy kind of got
he
handsome.
was probably a really twiggy kid. And
Yeah.
now he's not like crazy ripped in this at all.
No,
it's just
but
that
he's
you can see that, oh yeah, you're becoming a man.
He's Starfleet material. Oh,
You could see him in the Starfleet.
yeah, he's already done the first. This is between the first two Kelvin Star Trek movies. He does this. So
Is it?
Yeah.
This is between?
09 was the first Star Trek movie.
You're
so
absolutely
he's
right.
already been Chekhov.
Wow.
And what a great Chekhov he was.
He was a great Chekhov.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And actually Russian, unlike
Yeah. And had
Koenig.
to alter his accent.
had to do a less accurate Russian accent, even though going like,
So
I
some
grew
of
up
the
around
words
that. Yeah.
Love that.
I love the bit. I think it's in the first one where the computer doesn't understand him because he keeps saying Victor 2. Because he can't say Victor. It's very good. So anyway, he looks on Ed's computer. Ed has been taking surveillance video of Jerry, but Jerry doesn't show up on the camera.
Yeah, it's I mean, that is still to this day the fact that vampire movies ever include the I can't be seen in mirrors or on film thing.
This one
That
does
to me
it a
is
lot.
the one that of the folklore that you could easily ditch and
on-
feel good about.
And they often do.
They often do, but this one says no, we're going to include it.
it's
And I do
great.
love that you hear like Ed's voiceovers like going, "I knew it. I knew you wouldn't see that fucker on."
Yeah.
It's
Well,
so
later they do the thing when he attacks Peter Vincent's home and he's killing the security guard, and you see it, and then the camera pulls back and shows the screen where it's just the guy being
yes.
bit. Great, like
And that was very well done too.
really
I was
well
like,
done.
that is convincing. That's
Really
good.
well done. Yeah, some of the bigger green screen stuff, I think some of it is just from the time. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean, actually, green screen and the there's unnecessarily. I mean, again, this is a good director, but the scenes in the car later with the 360 rotating
I like
camera
the
thing,
shot. It's just that the green screen doesn't
well,
live
I
up to
didn't
it.
think it was necessary, and I didn't think it really worked, mainly because it does a couple of It's like we got it the first time, and now we're doing it again because I think it's just like, dude, I can do this. And
Yeah,
it doesn't,
I like that
doesn't
shit
work
though. That's I
what
think
I
a
don't
difference.
like is the vampire design in this.
Oh,
The
that's
hands are
interesting because
very
that's
cool. But
that's also the other Spielberg note
what was that?
about the teeth specifically, that he wanted it more shark-like and like.
That's okay. I just don't think it was well done. It looks goofy. There's a big kind of facial transformation thing that happens that I don't think looks as good as even stuff you would have seen on Buffy. I think the CG here is kind of shaky. The distended jaw, like a snake thing, got no problem. Seen vampires with that in movies, and I thought that was creepy. The needle teeth.
I mean, I do
whatever.
like once again in concept the progression of the less human he gets as the movie goes along.
Yeah,
by the
and
end,
it's also a thing of that's the true face, and he shows a different face.
Because you
to
see that
everybody
moment
else.
where he's trying to like get back to the Colin Farrell face, and it's
Yeah.
difficult, which is kind of cool.
I do think that all the probably practical, as in contortionist stuff they have after he's been hit by the car, and it's just like running around crab-like with the broken limbs. That's very good.
Very cool.
That's cool and creepy.
No, it's like a lot of this stuff, and particularly movies of this era, the stuff where they really want to spotlight like the CG looks worse than the little moments that you're talking about. The thing on
the
the
little
camera,
moments work
the guy
well.
skittering around. There's the contortionist woman they hired to do that vampire coming out of the wall of the, and she has her leg over her shoulder. I'm like, that's cool because that's just somebody who can do that. And you're like, ooh,
that's a practical thing.
That's
I'm looking
disconcerting,
at,
you know.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. So now he's pretty convinced he's a vampire at this point because of the video. But this is where he comes over and is like, "Hey man," and I love the way Colin Farrell's like, "Hey man, like man to man, I got a girl coming over, and I told her we're gonna have beer, and I don't have any beer."
Yeah,
and
he's
he's like,
"Hey, can you do me a solid? Can you go in there and grab me a sixer of whatever you have, and I promise I'll get your mom a replacement, and I'll get you one too."
"Yeah, it's like
cool.
I'm a cool guy, man. I'm even gonna get
I'm a cool guy.
a high school guy a 6-pack of beer."
Yeah, but this is about me trying to get it.
Yeah. Now I would be like, even if the guy wasn't a vampire, I'm like, this guy's a creep, but that's okay.
Yeah. And you know what women are like.
Yeah.
And you especially do because you got that hot girlfriend. You got that, and your mama's kind of hot.
That's where he's.
too.
Well,
And, you know,
I wrote
she
down the
wants-
line, which is one of the creepiest lines he has. He goes, she told me about your dad and how he took off. He goes, that kind of neglect gives off a scent.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, fuck, that's creepy.
There's lots of creep
and then he talks about, he goes, this girl I got come over, she's a wild one. He goes, but you know about that girlfriend of yours, she's ripe.
Oh, she's ripe. He plays this a little too well, a little too convincingly. I'm like, there might be an alpha creepy rapist part of him.
I feel
not
like
saying that the man. I'm going on record not saying that he is. I'm just saying that there might be.
But
something
certainly,
in his
maybe
DNA.
a guy though who's pretty open about his partying days in Hollywood. But it certainly has probably been around many a guy like this too.
Yeah.
He's long put that behind him, of course. Colin Farrell,
he's on the right side.
Yeah,
Now it's all about fat suits.
He's talked about it many times. The most fun he's ever had playing a part is the Penguin. He loves doing that. He did say this, actually. I read a quote from him that said, he said this is the hardest part he's ever had to play because he's like, there was no humanity, no soul to this guy to try to find a way into, like, he's like, as an actor, you're always like, well, I got to advocate for my character. I like this character. He's like, this guy doesn't have anything for me to latch on to be like, well, from my view, maybe he, it's like he's purely, that's why he had to get into that like shark-like predator mindset where it's all just about the hunt and ethics and all that's, And he does it,
Thirst
man.
and hunger.
He is laser focused in a way that that separates him from the Sarandon performance, which are both great in different ways.
And Sarandon's cameo in this
is fun.
It's fun.
Yeah, I was like, hey, all right.
All right.
But I loved it in the theater, but I went, why no Ragsdale?
Why no Ragsdale?
Hashtag why no Ragsdale, man. But I say that about every movie.
You do?
We've actually been I do love Ragsdale, and he does still act in a ton of stuff.
Went to see Beetlejuice together. That's the last movie we saw together. And I think maybe somewhere 45 minutes into it, you turned and said, why no Ragsdale?
Is Ragsdale going to be in this?
I was like, no, man, no. Wow.
It's like, was he in the original? No, I just think Ragsdale needs to be in stuff, man.
I do love the guy.
And he does
very part of that era of film.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, because he was the guy where, as much as one of like John Cusack's gifts was that you thought you were kind of a Cusack, but you knew you weren't. A Ragsdale, that's the guy I could relate to for sure. And dude. I forgot he is in Renfield, so we will talk about him in the coming months on this show. Yeah. No, okay. No, dude still acts a ton. He's all over the place. Good for him.
As long as he can get out of shit ass mummy movies.
No, that wasn't him. That was Galligan.
Oh, that was Galligan.
Galligan. No, Ragsdale never fell to those.
Oh, thank God.
No, remember Ragsdale was
I like Zach Galligan too.
Yeah, they were similar types. I could understand why you. So anyway, he gets him a beer, very prominently a Budweiser. I'm sure that paid for a couple effect shots.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah. So, and then this is right after this. Amy comes over, and a very different take from the 80s. Amy is the one who wants to get down, which I'm happy with, because I will say one of the things that ages poorly about that is him pressuring a girl into having sex, and
this I will say also is handled well. It's not just that it's flipped, that it's her.
No.
It's also, she's not pressuring. And
no.
He's not reluctant. The bad thing here is
he's
simply
distracted.
timing.
Yeah, he's just
he's distracted. She happens to be bringing this up because prom's coming, and that is kind of we're about to graduate and we're both still virgins, and why don't we do something about that? But also the fact is that it just happens to be around the time he's convinced that his best friend was turned into a vampire and that there's a vampire next door. And so to her, it looks like he's reluctant. And they're like, and they're making out, and he's like, oh, sorry, I got to do. And she's like, really, is it me?
They're both really good in this scene, because I do like every time
no,
Yeltsin's like,
no,
I want to do this. It's just, what the fuck was that outside?
He's already responding to any kind of noise because he's convinced that Jerry's just going to just creep into the house and kill them. He's already told his mom, and seems like a crazy person, like, don't invite Jerry over. Never let that man in the house. And by the way, he's kind of dangerous, so don't open the door. And why don't you just stay inside all the time?
And
she's are you okay, honey?
But I love the way Toni Collette is like, I'm a middle-aged woman. I know of men. Like, it's just like, I'm not some high school girl. Like, you don't have to worry about me. And I like, once again, the taste of his father was a piece of shit, but we don't really get into it. But clearly she was in some kind of shitty relationship beforehand. But I also like the thing where he's like, oh God, the hot neighbor we saw earlier, she's over there at Jerry's, and Amy is just like, well, yeah, she's a hot lady, and he's calling for did you think that wasn't gonna happen? Yeah.
And he's just never actually, because you can't. He's never actually able to say, well, but he's a vampire.
So she storms out, though, because she's like, well, clearly you're not interested in having sex with me. So, and
that hurts.
Yeah. Because I don't think she has the thing later that I like, too, where it's like, why are you afraid of losing me? Do you think if I wanted to date Dave Franco, I could. I don't want to date that guy. That guy sucks.
Yeah.
Which I do like that sort of thing about I'm dating you because I like you. Like, obviously,
listen,
I could date anybody.
If you've got a poots, you lock it down.
Yeah.
You say, I don't know why you're attracted to me or want to be with me.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I will give you no cause to ever leave.
Like she says, she's acknowledgeable enough to know, I could probably date anybody.
Yeah. Look, I'm popular. I'm extremely hot. I'm smart, and I'm quirky and funny.
Yeah.
I could get anyone I want. And weirdly, I want you, Charlie
Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Vampire hunter.
Yeah. Man, he got with Kat Dennings and Charlie. Anton Yelchin was pulling a lot of ladies in these movies.
Congratulations, Mr. Yelchin.
Yeah. And he was with, you didn't see the third Star Trek, but he might have a sexy alien girl in that, too.
Oh, he ends up with an alien girlfriend? Very nice.
Yeah, very nice. Telling her
Very
about...
nice, Mr. Chekhov.
Telling her about, actually, that was invented by a little old lady in Russia, which I love because that was a thing from the original series, was he said Russians.
Yes, his national pride.
Yep.
Even though he lives in an era when there are no nations anymore.
That is always a thing in Star Trek, right? That, like, Picard's always very proud to be French, but you're just like, but, like, it's an Earth government.
Yeah,
but they still. I guess is it more like states? Like you're just proud of where you're from. It's like
it could just
regions
be that you feel. It's
there are
like
still
you
cultures,
don't deny
right?
history. You can have pride about that.
There are still cultures within it, I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. There would have to be. Anyway, welcome back to Trekcast, which every podcast I do is always about to turn into. All right. So he does hear screaming from next door. Calls the cops. Love the shot of him looking at the cops, and they're like, "Yeah, you did, you
they're
rascal!"
Just chatting up with Jerry.
They're laughing at him
again,
like,
a great little bit is later when he's, and I know I'm jumping ahead, but later when he's doing his sneaking around, and it's not called attention to, but he opens Jerry's closet, and there are all these uniforms.
Yeah.
So clearly, he, as part of his protective thing, is he can pretend he's any of those people.
Yeah.
He probably uses them when he hunts. He can be a cop.
And
EMT or whatever.
Ed is wearing a delivery guy uniform that he probably got from Jerry.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Jerry. This is a guy who's been doing. We don't know how old Jerry is exactly, but clearly old enough that he's been doing this for a long time.
He says 400 years.
Does he say 400 years? I did miss it. Okay, so that's the thing. Was like this is a guy who's perfected what he does.
Yeah.
So anyway, he talks about, and I just love the way that they're just like, you get out of here, Jerry.
It's basically like, they're complaining about a woman screaming. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that it's sort of like,
you
dog. Yeah, she is screaming, but she's screaming for the right.
You dog.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By the way, just to preface, it is the hot neighbor chick.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie saw her going to the house for a date. She's the one that the beer is supposedly for.
Right.
And then he hears the woman he hears the screaming, and he calls the cops.
Yeah. Doris is that character's name.
Yeah, Doris,
played by Emily Montague.
The stripper slash.
She's a go-go dancer, sir.
Go-go dancer. And so then Jerry, as soon as the cops leave, Jerry takes off in his truck.
Yeah.
For some reason, which is when Charlie's like, "I'm gonna," because I heard the screams and he knew the cops didn't do anything.
This is
He's
another.
Like, I'm gonna go check.
Another beat I love is him Googling how to pick a lock.
Yeah.
Great.
I will say, by the way, because this is 2011, the jokes about eBay in it, I'm sitting there going like, ooh, there were just a couple. It should be Amazon jokes now. But anyway, so he sneaks over to Jerry's. He gets in without too much trouble, and he's doing the digging around. He's looking for Doris because it's like, oh God, is she here or not? Because that's who was screaming. And then he finds the closet with all the stuff in it just as Jerry is pulling up.
He hides in the closet and then discovers that the wall is actually a false wall, and he goes back into this little hallway, which is a
hallway that's full of little cells.
Yeah.
Holding cells.
Yeesh.
Creepy. Yeah.
Creepy. And he looks in
and
one.
And he finds the one
that has I just said her name and I've already forgotten it. Doris. Yeah.
Yeah. R.I.P. Doris. She gets a rough.
Oh, she sure does. But God, I love this whole sequence where they're sneaking around. I love, once again, little beats from Farrell in this when he's watching like Real Housewives and he's like, yeah. He snickers at Real Housewives.
Well, I guess he just, in between killing, he's just absorbing culture. He just sits there, he's watching this thing, and it's like, I told her that it's like, he ain't no boob gal, he's a butt guy. He's a butt guy, and Colin Farrell's Jerry just sits there and goes,
yeah. And he gets up and gets a beer, and it's all so we can do these sort of Hitchcockian things where they're just around corners and.
Yeah, he found Doris, and she was still alive.
Yeah,
right.
Then he
And
hides,
then
and
he
Jerry
has
bites
to hide
her.
another because Jerry does come back there.
That's right. He sees Jerry bite
He goes
her.
into her cell, and he doesn't fully drain her, but he drinks from her.
Yeah.
While Charlie's watching, and it's so eerie, just because she's like,
When she looks
out,
she makes eye contact with him as he's drinking. Yeah, creepy, man.
and she also puts the finger up to her mouth, like, don't make a noise.
I do think on that point, yeah, as you talk about, this one is less. I do think if you're looking for a scary movie, this is probably the one to watch, right? Between the two.
Yeah.
This one has more scares than
has more.
And I don't even know that Holland's going for. That's the thing where it's like I'm not. That's why I like about this.
Holland's almost going for a high school comedy that has a vampire.
It's very of it. These are both very of their time. That's why I think this is a perfect example of how you remake, modernize something in a remake.
Yes, even though, again, as we've said, no reason to do it, because Fright Night was not a failed film by any means.
But it's just this is. I almost look at this like when you do like a revival of a play or something, where it's just like,
all right,
what is this now? You know.
I'll go with you on this, counselor.
Yeah.
Watch yourself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is not often is that the case.
That's true. So anyway,
what I like about
Jerry
this though
leaves,
is you're kind of like Jerry knows they're there, right? And he does.
Yeah.
And I like watching this again. I'm kind of going like, where does he know? I think he knows pretty early that Charlie's around, and he's doing all this.
Oh, I think he knew immediately. Yeah. I mean, they do a couple of places, mainly in the third act when the action is on, but they do have a couple of instances where he sniffs the air.
Yeah.
Where he actually literally goes,
yeah.
And you're like, yeah, the vampire knows. He can probably hear his heartbeat.
Because they're able to. Oh, because Ed talks about that later, that he can hear their heartbeat when they're hiding from him.
And he goes, it's actually really cool.
Great.
So Jerry has been sated. He walks off.
Yeah.
Again, probably fully knowing that Charlie's there.
Yep.
But Charlie goes over to the cell and pulls her out. She's still alive.
Yeah.
She's gray, but she's still alive. And he's like, I'm going to get you out of here. So they do. Obviously, there was no chance, but they're sneaking out.
Mm-hmm.
While Jerry is still
and they're doing all these beats about like, oh, we got to hide behind this because he might catch us.
Yeah, because he gets up and he'll move, and they're like, so they move to a different part of the kitchen island or something, and then they move to the other side to duck. And we do get the impression, or maybe not till he gets outside, that it is now day.
Yes.
Because they do make it out like the French doors or something into the backyard. Yeah. And it's like, oh, she looks rough, but it's like, we made it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, great. And they start walking, and then she hits the sunlight, and she fucking explodes.
This CGI looked great, I thought. Her going up looked fantastic.
It did.
Because she it burns her when she just turns into ash.
Screams, and it's just, again, R.I.P. Doris, you deserve better.
She did. She seemed nice.
He looks, I mean, it's deflating, and it's also just horror. Because he thought he had won, gotten a victim away from
and
Jerry.
Then it cuts into Jerry's not even looking at. He just knows, and he's like, and then what does he do? He goes and grabs an apple, which is their nod to the Holland movie, which is great, and was, as we talked about, a Chris Sarandon thing about fruit bats.
Yeah, fruit bats. But it could also be the thing about innocence.
Oh, of course.
Knowledge,
and Colin Farrell really makes a meal out of that one bite.
He makes a meal out of that apple. And I will say, apples aren't that filling, but they can definitely offset a meal.
Well, because especially the whole thing about like a vampire doesn't need to eat. He's drinking beer, he's eating apples for just his own enjoyment, not,
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, so we still haven't been talking about
no, because now is the point where he's like, okay, I have to seek out somebody who knows what's going on, and so he finds.
He got a bunch of Ed's notes when he had broken into his place, and that included a lot of vampire hunting stuff, but also included a lot of links to Peter Vincent, because that's where he was getting his information.
And so he goes to wherever the hotel is that Peter Vincent is doing his show and lives in, and he
pretends he's a reporter for the Las Vegas Sun.
Yeah, and he walks in, and we see this. You've got sexy vampire ladies on a bed, and Peter Vincent. You talk about this was the biggest casting to me about like, who do you get? Because Roddy McDowall, we love the dude, and he's amazing in that part. But I gotta say, they picked the exact right guy. Not that he's a Roddy McDowall type, but that I have a similar like, yeah, feeling of when David Tennant shows up.
Well, I don't quite worship the man that way. I just think that he's so much fun.
He's one of
and can play so many different types of characters.
I will say, because I'll say this, Roddy McDowall never was, but Roddy McDowall could have been a doctor.
Oh man, could he have?
That's what I guess. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's a similar like playfulness to them as actors that I think even though they're playing different versions of Peter Vincent, it makes so much sense to get Tennant into a Roddy McDowall role. And he is having so much fun in this movie.
I gotta say, yeah. The thing is, it's not simply that thing where they go, "Oh, it's a departure from what I usually play." This is kind of just a playground for him to be this asshole-ish performer character, like a real dick of.
Because we see him doing his whole vampire and get back beast, and then something goes off, and he's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah, a special effect in the act goes off weird, and then he's like going, "Oh God, come on, you guys, we should be professionals."
Yeah.
I mean, we obviously, as the audience, knew we weren't watching a real vampire hunter doing anything, but it is that reveal where it looked like a Hammer film for a bit, and then now it's a woman on wires on stage, and a special effect didn't go off, and now he's just an angry asshole.
And he's got this long, stringy black hair and a crazy goatee, and he's got the eyeliner on. And then I love the whole descent into we lose the wig, he peels off.
I love it. Yes, as he starts. Well, when he says, "All right, Charlie, you brand new reporter, writing a story about me, I'll give you 10 minutes." So up in Vincent's
I love the thing
room,
where he says, "I'm writing an article that's vampires, Miss Red." He goes, "And you wanted a quote from me? That's a shitty idea for an article."
yeah, it is good. He goes, "You want a quote? That's a terrible idea for an article."
Yeah.
So they go up to his room, and then it is this sort of peeling off. Like the wig comes off, and it's just his normal hair. He's talking to him, peels off the goatee, and he complains about the leather pants, which is what I was talking about at the very beginning.
I do like, throughout this, he's shirtless with just the leather pants on.
Yeah, he grabs his balls, and he's like, God, these things.
It's all just like, this is not who this guy is. It's what people want him to be. He's drinking. I have here. They say what it is that he's drinking. Yeah. Which is this green shit, and I love that he's like, "Hey, I know it looks like piss, but I just got hooked on it in a."
Yeah.
You want some?
Yeah. He's like, "No," and he goes, "How about a Shirley Temple?" Because obviously Peter Vincent the whole time is going, "Yeah, you're really young. Is this your first story ever?" And he's like, "Yes." Yes, actually it is. It's my first story for the Sun.
It's
and he goes, "Maybe you want a Shirley Temple?" And he's like, "No, that's fine. Thanks."
Yeah.
And then very quickly, it's not an interview because he's going, "How would you kill a real vampire?"
And it is the most David Tennant delivery of like, "Well, it's fire. You cut off his head. You cook up a big garlic omelet."
Yes,
and he does do the Doctor Who, and I'm clocked in the theater. I was probably the only person who laughed when they go, "Now it all work." He goes, "Wow, maybe not the omelet."
Yeah, wow.
He does the Doctor Who, "Wow."
Yeah,
maybe not the omelet. It's like and he does the thing about stake him in the heart, bam, and it's just like, God, they just wound Tennant up and let him go, man, and that's great, and he's used the perfect amount in the movie because I was, and I remember hearing this even before the movie came out. They were going, test screenings are going crazy for him in this, and there was talk of a spin-off movie, and I'm going,
it is the right amount because
I'm not
the
saying
whole movie,
maybe a spin-off movie could have been good, but probably would have been too much of this guy then.
Maybe so, but
I get
the whole thing is he is. We have been enjoying. I would assume most audiences are enjoying everything they've seen so far.
Yeah.
But it does feel like we're in that waiting pattern. Finally, Charlie has accepted that Jerry is really a vampire who's probably killed people he knows, and is lost. So then also the plot has hit a point where it could just continue in that way, or you inject adrenaline into it and and that's Peter Vincent is the adrenaline.
Because I feel like had he spun off into his own thing, you get into the Jack Sparrow territory, right? Like those Pirates movies are, God, he's the most fun and exciting thing in that first movie, and then they start just making the movies about him, and then you start to go like, all right, Jesus Christ, enough with this guy.
Yeah, but also what they would have done is give you the backstory, which here is sketched in, and you don't really want it because we have just enough. Eventually, we will learn the reason Peter Vincent did actually study a bunch of occult stuff and maybe believes, maybe doesn't.
This was a real sticking
his
point.
Family was killed.
This is what I remember a lot of people online complaining about, is going like, "Oh God, he did see Vamp." It's like, well, this is a different Peter Vincent, and I like it for this take where it's like and I love his whole thing about like, I convinced myself maybe I was just a kid who saw, believed something.
And then we find out at the end it was actually Jerry.
It was Jerry.
Who killed his, it was actually Jerry.
By the way,
and that's a little on the nose. It's like, I killed your parents.
It's it's the screenwriting math thing. Once again, it's like, well, yeah, that's the thing, and so it's fine. I didn't need it, but I'm not mad that it's there either. He's drinking Midori liqueur, is what he's drinking. And Midori is
I'm glad you looked it up.
Yeah, Midori is the Japanese word for green. So it literally just means green liquor that he's drinking.
Okay. Green, to me, I always look at it and think of absinthe, but he did say something that wasn't absinthe. So
I also like when he comes back later and it's at night, and when he just puts the bottle in the pocket of his robe, and he's walking around with it.
Yeah.
Because this guy's a fucking mess. He's got this assistant/girlfriend that he's clearly in a horrible relationship with.
I do like that she, again, this was important, is like, even though he is the boss because she's working for him, I like that she gives so much more shit back to him.
But yet they're still
powerless. He yells at her.
They're still sleeping together and presumably living, like, this is just their dynamic they're that couple. That's just always at each other's throats, but probably have incredibly intense sex and then go back to hating each other.
Dies, and he's just hiding in his panic room. Yeah. That's sad.
He's
looking at her on the monitor.
Yeah. Ginger's her name, and she's speaking of Modern Family, played by Sandra Vergara, sister of Sofia Vergara.
I wondered if they were sisters because it wasn't just the name. I was like, you sound like
her. Looks like, not like a dead ringer, but you can definitely see a familiar resemblance.
Close enough.
Yeah. And I think she's really good. She's really good.
I think she is. She's very funny, too.
I like when she's eating ice cream and she's like, I'm watching my program. And he's like, you're TiVoing it, you lazy cow.
She's watching a telenovela, and that's so great. She's just sitting there eating ice cream. I'm watching my program. He's like, you TiVoing it,
you lazy cow.
Yeah.
God, it's great. Cow. All that stuff. Yeah, he definitely brings the comedy we're talking about. This doesn't lean as much into comedy, but a lot of the comedy is coming from Tennant.
Yes.
But also then they give him a more, a darker origin than Roddy McDowell's Peter
because
Vincent.
He's mocking Charlie for believing that vampires are real.
But I do like the moment when he's like, here's the evidence of this, and as soon as he sees it, he's like, you need to get out.
Yeah.
Because in the moment he goes, because you're nuts, but then when you think about it again, you're like, oh, because he's like, I don't want to think about this.
Right.
I don't want to.
And he also sees in the evidence that something that
he finds that later that he recognizes
that picture he had taken inside of Jerry's house of the that piece of art, that ancient thing. And he has recognized it. We will find that out not right now.
I forgot about it because it's in the bit when they're going through, and obviously it's set up for the end of the movie. He's got this in his penthouse. He's got all these supernatural artifacts and weapons. But my favorite bit is and over there is his honorary degree from Las Vegas State University, and it's framed.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, and that's her that's pointing out. Yeah. It's like, and there's his honorary degree from LSV. I mean LVS.
LVS, yeah.
LVS.
Yeah.
And
that's just as important as anything else. So that's from Las Vegas State.
It's so funny.
It's great. So he's thrown out of there, Charlie, and he goes home and starts immediately putting up crosses all over the windows because Dave Franco. James Franco would want to play Jerry, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. But he putting, and Dave Franco and his buddy are like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
He's putting all these crosses on his windows, and they're lighting up
But
a
also,
joint.
why are they sitting in the
It's a
watching?
little, yeah, this is, you could argue this is a plot hole, but
Yeah. The two bullies are camped out in their car watching all
they
this.
seem to just be watching to be like, I guess, go like, we need evidence this guy sucks. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, they're lighting up a joint, and I like when there's the vampire finger taps on, and Franco's thing is like, put the doob out, man. Like, oh my God. It's somebody's dad.
He thinks it's like the cops.
Yeah.
And then this is shot really well because you hear like the glass break, but the camera has swiveled around to the stoner.
Yeah.
So then you see the stoner literally get shot with a jet of blood.
It's so
because
good.
Franco's been gotten. And then he goes down too.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, the vampire works pretty damn quick.
And it's just, it's real. It happens fast, and then boom, we're on to the next scene.
Dead.
Yeah.
But we'll see them again.
Yeah. So now Amy has shown up. Yeah. Amy has shown up to be like, okay, what the hell, man? Are you ditching me, dodging me? What's your problem? And the mom wants to know what's up, and then Jerry's banging on the door, and this is talking about building the tension of this, and he's like, I really need to come in, and Charlie's going, whatever you do, Mom, don't let him in. And I really like the moment when he's just like, your son is unhinged and a freak, and I like that Toni Collette's like, yeah, go ahead and call the cops then. Like, I love that, because so many times
it was well played, because she's sitting there looking at her son who's making really bizarre claims, and Jerry's outside the door going, your son's actually been harassing me, and I've been tempted to call the cops on him. And she's, torn for half a second, because, like, my son is acting weird. But her resolving to just go with her son and then call the cops.
It is a thing that drives me insane in a lot of movies where adults are always want to side against children. Yeah. And I would have to, my parents were almost always on my side of stuff, generally speaking. It's a thing.
You probably didn't cause them a lot of.
I didn't. No, I was shockingly, I was a pretty good kid who really didn't do it.
Yeah,
but I'm saying,
I think they would be very quick to
I think the impetus of, and I get the sense Charlie's a good kid, so I believe that his mom would be like, yeah, because she's kind of with him on like, what are you doing? And then as soon as he's like, yeah, your son's harassing me, he's unhinged.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, well, yeah, then call like, if you're gonna call my kid, and then
so good, and Charlie's just like going, please, Mom, just don't.
The fucking jig is up on Jerry now, because he's just like, fuck it, man. He goes and gets his shovel.
Now here's the thing, I've enjoyed this movie, I really have, and I do think the changes are smart. However, when we talk about vampires with no chill or monsters with no chill, Jerry is pretty. When you look at what he's doing, this isn't too smart, Mr. 400-year-old vampire. He's killing off people literally on his block. Mm-hmm. He's killing off kids that all go to the same high school. This is all going to be noticed. I don't know what this guy's end game is exactly. So I don't know. Kids sitting in their car, and that, I mean, whether he's great at cleaning up crime scenes,
but he's building an army of them. So I don't. That's the thing, is I don't know. Like, it seems like eventually he's not going to be stealthy about whatever he's doing, and I don't know what that is.
True, but this still seems early days, because I think this movie is happening all within a week.
Yeah, thereabout, yeah.
And so the whole thing of literally here, he just goes, fine, all right, this is how we're going to play it.
You won't let me in, I'm going to get you to come out.
He uses his hands to dig this huge hole in the backyard.
No, he doesn't use his hands. He does get a shovel.
Oh, he does get a shovel. That's right.
Yes, he does. He goes and gets his shovel.
Fast and
yes, he's still doing. Yeah,
super strength. Gets down to the gas line and snaps it, causing gas, and then he lights it, causing their house to explode. You're like going, wow.
Yeah, he opens up the gas. He rips up the gas line.
Yeah,
fires up his lighter.
Of him going like, okay, I won't call the cops. Look, this is a misunderstanding. All right. And he doesn't go back and just like, I'll play it differently the next time I see them. No, he's like, fuck this. I'm blowing up their house.
Fires shooting out of you see it shoot out of the fireplace, then out of the oven.
Yeah, Charlie saves his mom and Amy, and
you do get an action hero shot of them diving over the couch as the wall of fire comes behind them.
gets to the SUV and is like, "Just drive, Mom, just drive." And they get out of the garage.
And this is where they're doing
blasting.
the very Children of Men-esque, I think, is what he's kind of going for.
Yeah, the
Circling
360
shot,
that we get
going
way
through
too many times.
going through the car, and then eventually he's behind them, and then he's in front of them.
One thing I love is that they actually fuck up Charlie's motorbike on their way out, and Jerry immediately is getting on that motorbike like, "I'm coming for you," and then he sees that it's fucked up. So the first thing he does is literally throws the motorcycle into the back of the SUV. Yeah. That's a pretty cool beat because it nearly gets Amy in the back of the head. But anyway, so yes, then he has gotten in his own car and he's driving after them. And this whole chase scene is pretty great.
Yeah.
It just that him like, "Oh, I've got a new toy," and it's this 360, thing.
The dude loves it. The dude loves a oneer, so doing it in the car. I mean, it fits with a lot of what Gillespie. There's more CGI in this than I'm used to in his other. Obviously, I, Tonya. Well, there's actually a fair amount of CGI in I, Tonya, but it's more to do with the crowds at the Olympics and stuff than it is to do.
Yes.
And actually, it's really well done in that. They also did a lot of face replacement where you'd have a professional ice skater and then put
I bought
Margot
it.
Robbie's.
I thought it
looks
really
good.
were doing it.
It's all real subtle, realistic kind of stuff. But I do like the moment then where, he's blocked the road and he's just standing there and Charlie's like, "Run him the fuck down!" Just
and
who cares?
Like, what? I know that's too far. And he's like going, "Trust me on this."
And then I think that this is my favorite beat in this is they hit him, and then when he's under the car and his hand is clawing up through the floorboard.
Oh, that's so good.
That's good vampire shit right there.
That's good. He's literally just clinging to the bottom of their car and trying to rip his way in from beneath.
And then when they hit Chris Sarandon and he gets out, and Colin Farrell coming out and just lifting up the back of the car and setting it down as he comes out. Chris Sarandon. Once again, great cameo, and just him being
Chris
like,
Sarandon
"What
playing
the
like just a typical asshole business guy, like going, "Oh, I guess he's not an asshole. He got clipped." So he's like, "What do you fucking think you're doing?
Yeah.
How fast you're going?" And then this guy literally lifts the SUV, gets out from under it, and Chris Sarandon's just like, "What the fuck?" And then he's on him.
Yeah,
he's on him like a spider monkey.
Bites his neck. You do get a very the Chris Sarandon death has a 3D thing of the blood right at the camera, of course.
Yeah.
All of those moments.
That's
I'm like,
my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I kept going, more of that.
It did take me back to seeing, like, I felt like every movie I saw in this, like, 5-year span, I would just sit there and go, 3D. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Every movie had to have, like, 5 to 6 shots where I went, 3D.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood.
That's for 3D.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. But it's still a good sequence regardless. It doesn't, unlike when we talked about Priest a couple weeks ago, I don't think any of that overwhelms the movie like it did in that. This is also just a better written movie, of course, which helps a lot. But this is also where he's in full-on vampire face, mouth full of teeth. Once again, Spielberg was like, shark-like. Make him look like a shark. Because whatever they had before... Apparently, Spielberg's note was like, "That's not scary. Make him scarier. Make him more like a shark."
Yeah.
Which is that always Spielberg's thing is like it needs to be scarier, like a shark.
It's like John Peters convinced that the scariest animals are spiders.
And once again, I would listen to Spielberg because I'd be like, "Well, from sharks, sir." Just same thing if he told me about dinosaurs, I'd be like, "Well, you are the dinosaur guy, aren't you?"
That's his totem animal. Shark.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just keep coming back to sharks.
Yeah.
God bless him. He never did another shark ever. But
because even without him doing it, I'm with the How Did This Get Made people. Still just the one good shark movie then.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So still just the one good?
He did it. He did the shark movie. When you say the shark movie, no one's like, which one? You're like, no, it's Jaws because it's a masterpiece. And nobody's
Deep Blue Sea where they become intelligent.
I mean, we are going to do shark movies at some point on IP Squad. And we'll do all the Jaws.
Way too long.
We'll do all. Well, we're going to do this the franchises. So we're going to do the Jaws, the Deep Blue Seas.
You're not going to do Orca.
We're not going to do Orca. We could do a whole
ancillary.
Although there's enough movies you could just do a season of Jaws ripoffs.
Yeah, it's true.
There's enough of those. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we get a this is that thing that this movie's doing very well, where it's doing stuff from the original movie in a different way. Because after he kills Chris Sarandon, Charlie's like, "Get out of here, Mom and Amy! I'm gonna hold him back," and he pulls out the cross. And I
Oh,
love
this is great.
Farrell's so good here when he's like, please, Charlie, not the cross, not the... And then he just
goes,
fucking
"That's
grabs it.
He goes, that's a big cross you got there.
That's a big cross, man. And then he just grabs it and it catches fire in his hand and he throws it aside. And he's
Well,
like...
his hand is burning along with the cross,
Yeah.
which I think is great, because a couple of times they show him literally sticking his finger in sunlight and kind of going like, dude, I'm used to this. It's like not immune to it, but this isn't going to throw me
And
as much.
all
as
of that, though, is going to set up the ending, of course, which
Yes.
is we have to get him on fire to kill him.
Yeah, the whole thing of Peter Vincent going like, well, you could set him on fire.
That'd be
and
he'd
it's
be at
not
his
that it
weakest.
will instantly kill him, but it will distract him so much.
Yeah.
Because
Which
he'll
actually-
panic when he's
actually-
on fire.
Is good vampire strategy. I like that.
It
That's
is
smart.
it is. It's like, and then you stake him while he's on
Yeah.
fire. He's like, don't I have to get close to him while?
But how they do that is really
While he's
cool.
on fire.
The ending's
Yes,
great.
it is.
But then,
good.
so he's gonna bite him, and then the fucking real estate yard stake comes back. She jams that in Colin Farrell's back, and it's great. And then this is where he's scampering all over the road. And
Yes, she really didn't get the heart, obviously, which is something they will bring up and point out. It's like,
yeah.
listen, I've been staked a million times. It always hurts, but the thing is that they always miss the heart. And he goes, "It's right here," and he actually.
And then I like that. So as he's scampering, I then like the little action beat of then they get in the car and they hit, I guess, Chris Sarandon's car that then topples over onto Jerry. Then on top of it.
Yes, yeah. Final fuck you, which isn't final, by the way, of course. But
No, because we see that, and once again, the great thing of just his fucked up arm sticking out of it, and then it starts turning and cracking and coming back together.
And that was well done. I mean,
Well
not
done.
all the effects are they're not
No,
necessarily
I think,
bad. This
like I
is
said, I
good
think
stuff.
I think most of the effects in the movie are pretty good, but there's a few moments where they really emphasize the effects and
Yeah.
they don't land. I think those are the ones
Here,
we're talking
in
about.
addition to the bones popping back into place, they're also showing, and subtly, but I love it. You can actually see muscle tissue kind of
Yeah.
doing strands, like connecting to each other to reform muscle. Like, that's good.
It's good stuff.
This was well done.
Yeah,
Good scene.
this is really well done. And so they drive off. Of course, the mom at this point is like, "Oh, she hit her head in the crash, so we got to take her to a hospital."
Yeah. And this is where we just don't need to worry about her anymore.
Although I do love the beat of when they're like, when all the nurses are looking at the crosses covering her, and he just goes, "Mom's really religious."
And Mom's really religious. Yeah, because Charlie knows he has to leave her behind to finish the job, but
Yeah.
he's going to. He just
Because he gets a call
Tapes up.
from Peter Vincent going, "All right, I think I know what's up here. Come to my place and we'll talk about it." And so that's when they leave the mom.
they leave the mom, and don't worry about it. She's okay.
So when they go to Peter Vincent, he goes, "All right, this is the symbol I recognized. This is a species of vampire that started in the Mediterranean, and they're different than other vampires because they nest and they keep people as snacks."
Yeah.
But once again, that's all he knows. I like this does the thing of just enough exposition and mythos because it's just like, well, was he building an army? He goes, "I don't know, maybe." Like,
Yeah. It's like, I don't know what his plans are.
I just know that this is the movements of this vampire race. I can't tell you anything beyond that.
And he so he has knowledge and they are like, okay, let's do this thing.
And then
we've got but they're going to be interrupted.
Yeah, because there's a delivery, and this is where he's talking about. He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm always getting drunk and ordering shit on eBay."
Yeah, it's always 3 a.m. and I've ordered something off eBay, and so there's a delivery.
Well, I love that though. Where he
And-
goes, they like, "Yeah, send the delivery guy up."
And
then,
while the delivery guy's coming up,
This is
Charlie
great.
goes, "Do you get deliveries this late from?" And he goes, "Yeah, you know what? I don't think so."
I love that he goes, "Yeah, no, I don't know."
Yeah, and then like the elevator dings, and of course there is Evil Ed.
Yeah.
He is now a vampire wearing a delivery guy
Yep.
uniform, and he goes, "Here's something for you from eBay," and he just throws the package and
Yeah.
hits Vincent in the head.
Yeah.
And
There's
then he just taunts them because
Yeah.
he's a vampire.
He's the worst.
He's not good, dude.
Peter does immediately go over and crash open a glass case he has next to his bed that has a crucifixion nail.
Yeah.
He'll fuck you up, I think he says.
Yeah.
But then because we keep, we got to have his heroic turn later, he then just bolts into his panic room.
Yeah, that's the thing is that he makes this one show and then he leaves Charlie completely on his own.
Though he
runs into
does,
the panic.
the panic room does successfully take off Evil Ed's arm.
That's true.
It gets caught in the door and takes the arm off, which is pretty gnarly and very R-rated, which I appreciate.
And Evil Ed's like, fuck, and it's slowly knitting back into place while he's talking to Charlie.
There's a couple
Charlie
of cool close-ups of it just starting to, all that stuff is there. And
what
then,
I do like too is that doesn't complete in time. I mean, literally, the rest of this fight scene, that arm doesn't come back into play. Well, it was like going, great.
Because, it's one thing if the arm's all broken and stuff to come back together like we saw with Jerry, but in terms of building a new arm, that's going to... Well, we saw... It's the thing in Blade, right? It takes like a couple days for Donald Logue's hand to come back, and then he gets cut off again, and,
Yes.
Cut off my fucking hand, man.
That's one of the only good things in that movie. Anyway, moving on.
Ibrahim's not here to jump down your throat for that one.
He is. I was about to say he's welcome to jump down my throat, and then I realized that's a weird thing to say, and I'm sorry I brought it up.
We apologize to everyone listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're running around hiding from Ed, and I do love Ed being a little too cocky here, where he's like, yeah, I can hear your heartbeats. It's pretty cool, man. And they're hiding behind a glass case, and then they just push over. He's like, I know where you are. I can... And, oh, shit!
Yeah, they literally just topple a thing on
top of him. Stop taunting,
like,
Ed. Fuck. Yeah.
It's really good.
It's good. And so Jerry showed up at this point. We already talked about the scene where he kills the security guard, and you see it on the... That was downstairs at... Because I do like the way this guy just doing... He's like, hey, sir, you got to check in, pal. This guy's the best. Hey, come on, man. and
then he's instantly killed.
Yeah.
Or killed very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Charlie gets a battle axe that he uses against Ed.
Now it is Charlie and Amy, and again, I'm not just saying they did this because you've got to do this for the ladies. It's just good that Amy is completely holding her own. Yeah. And in a couple of cases is doing really smart stuff that even Charlie is a little too befuddled to do. Because they're smacking open all those cases, grabbing out any weapon they can find.
He's got a cool medieval battle axe. She grabs a revolver that she loads with silver bullets, which is a great...
Very quickly, by the way. She does a good job with that.
She does a really good job of... Because it's like a 1800s peacemaker that doesn't break open. You have to individually put each bullet in.
And then she bangs him, and he, of course, grabs her throat, and he's like going, that's werewolves. Which, yes, we've seen that in plenty of movies.
But this is a great... This little couplet of dialogue, because she shoots him, and he's like, werewolves. And then she grabs a chalice of holy water and throws it in his face and goes, yes, vampires.
Yes.
Like, that's good. That's good action-y dialogue.
I do love the whole idea that Peter Vincent, amongst all of his, cases of ephemera, just has a chalice of holy water.
It kind of looks like the Grail from Indiana Jones. It
does, it does.
Yeah, it's like the idea about there's some story behind that chalice too.
It messes him up.
It messes him up. Yeah, we see him all burned because that gets her away, and then she's the one who, because Charlie hits Evil Ed with the axe.
Doesn't completely behead.
No, but it's a cool, gory effect of him with his head just...
That's where Greg Nicotero, who's one of the guys... I'm like, yeah, that's got to be
fucking Nicotero, man. One of the best to ever do it.
Because
I love the
so
boys.
Well done.
The boys at K&B, his effects company, are just fantastic.
I just love that Ed, with his head almost completely off, is like going... Yeah, that's the thing about bone, man. It's actually pretty tough to cut through.
That's the kind of stuff I love in this, where it is doing, it is deflating the classic stuff, but not in a shitty know-it-all way, but in oh, that's good. Yeah, it is hard to just take off a head in one swing.
Yeah,
we're so used to.
Yes, then Amy has to run in
and she's got a mace, which is cool. She hits him in the head with this mace, and then. Then
you sat there and you were going, well, you could have been Hawk Girl. You just needed to dye your hair red. Hawk Girl.
Look, I'm actually shocked Imogen Poots hasn't been a Marvel or DC character. It does feel like she must have been on some lists, right?
The MCU or the DCU could use some Poots.
By the way,
Her
I mean,
name is so unfortunate,
but it's
for
also
such a beautiful and talented lady.
but it's so British too.
Oh, it
Imogen
is about as
Poots.
British as you're gonna
Yeah, I
get.
mean, I didn't even have to look up where she's from, right? Like,
I
you're just like,
wish she were actually a lady, like titled. So some Lady Poots has arrived.
I'm
Lady Poots.
excited because she it just was at the Toronto Film Festival with a romance film with her and Brett Goldstein, and those are two people I
Oh,
want to see fall in love in a movie.
yeah. As long as she's going, fuck.
Fuck. I think it's got some kind of sci-fi elements to it too. I'm like, all right, I'm
Oh,
on board with this. But that's always sort of my barometer for romance films. It's just like, were these two people I want to see fall in love, and those two, yes.
oh, you know who she could play.
Hmm.
But this is merely because Brett Goldstein made me think of Hercules, and then I'm like, then I'm in the Thor world.
Yeah,
We've
yeah.
never gotten the Enchantress. We still haven't gotten the Enchantress.
No, technically we did on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but that doesn't count. So yes, still on the table.
We didn't, because that was the sister of the
Oh,
Enchantress.
is that right?
Yep.
I didn't watch all of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's
sorry.
okay. But so we still haven't had the Enchantress, and she's a major Thor villain, and she's blonde. I say, hey, Imogen Poots.
I mean, there's
I'm
any
reaching
number
out,
of
calling you.
characters. Yeah, I mean, I said that just like she would belong. And I said, I guarantee you, she's been on a list somewhere because you know they have
Oh,
those
she has to be.
lists of people.
Also, she's one of those people that has an overbite, but it works for the entire look.
Oh yeah,
You're like, wow, you're one of the lucky ones.
I gotta say too, she's also somebody who I like because she chooses interesting projects. Like
Yes.
this is kind of a rare like studio genre movie. She does a lot of weirder indie stuff, like the
Yeah.
aforementioned Green Room.
Yeah, she doesn't really chase the
No.
big studio stuff.
I don't think
and
she avoids
that's
it
fine.
necessarily, but she does seem to choose scripts that are a little off kilter, which is often the kind of stuff I want to watch. So I do
Two
end up seeing
more
her
Mission
a lot.
Impossibles from now, when Tom Cruise is 74 and still doing it, she'll be the new love interest.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I'm
When
on board.
Vanessa Kirby is too busy being Sue Storm. Anyway. moving on.
But I like the moment when he stakes Evil Ed and he hesitates, even though he's a vampire. He is still his friend. He's crying when he does it. It's still
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry. And then he stakes him, and as Evil Ed is decaying or crumbling away, he goes, that's okay, Charlie. It's okay.
Yeah.
Man, that weirdly works on an emotional level.
I mean, I do think something Noxon is been good at in a lot of the stuff she's written and really works here is the character stuff. You know, really, that's
Word.
the thing is like what separates this from a lot of these other ones is there is an attention to character and emotion in this
Yep.
that is often not present in a lot of the stuff we watch on this show. Because how
Yep.
many times do we watch stuff and go like, I didn't care about any of these characters because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. This does, it doesn't go over the top with it. It's still
No.
a fun romp of a genre.
and we
but
really
it,
didn't spend enough time with side
but it
characters.
speaks to how good all these actors are and how enough Noxon writes enough for them that I do feel invested in everybody in this movie.
Yep.
So they do escape, and this is similar to, but not exactly the same. The first movie, they escape through like a dance club that's going on in this hotel and casino, which also feels
Right.
very Vegas. But I do like where he's like, "This is great. We'll lose him in the crowd," and I think referencing how he acted before, having Amy just be like, "You think that's gonna stop him?"
Yeah, that's a good beat because it's addressing something I immediately was like, oh no, I don't think the scene is going to be good. I actually, as it was starting, I was like, I know what they're going for, but again, they're trying to go, oh yeah, it's sexy young people in a sexy club, and this is what's going to happen. But at least she is acknowledging, like, do you think he will stop? And do you think that this is the best place to be? Is at least someone smartly saying, let's address some of those concerns from our audience that can't get past logic, aka Brendan Jones.
I
So
do think
appreciated
actually similar to Buffy, and I think like the stuff Marty Knox has worked on, I think Marty Noxon does think about the Brendan Jones when she writes.
I think that she's an intelligent writer
Yeah.
who even if she gets a great idea for how a scene should play out, she then goes, but how can I do this where it won't feel
because
fake?
once again, say what you will about him as a person, the man did create so many things. That is sort of the Joss Whedon school of thought. Is like, we've seen all the. This is a guy who's seen all the movies.
Have a reason and logic behind it.
Yeah,
and they generally do.
Uh,
So I like that. And then this is the. When they get separated in the crowd, I was like, "Oh God!" Because that also feels tropey.
But I love
you
the
don't
beat.
get separated in crowds.
No, that's another movie thing. Always.
Wait, come back.
Always a movie thing. I have never once been separated in a sea of people from someone, but it's in a million movies. But I like the moment here where Jerry gets her and makes her drink his blood, and then when he's trying to argue the security guard,
it's very sexy.
It is, sexy. But then him trying to argue the security guard's like, "That's my girlfriend." It's like, "Oh man, seems like she's enjoying it."
Yeah.
Because
well, the whole thing is like the security guard. He's like, "That's my girlfriend over there," and that guy is assaulting her. When they look over,
she don't seem
looks
to
like
mind.
a couple in an embrace,
Yeah.
and so the guy's like going, "Yeah, no, I think that's not what's going on there."
It reminds me of, and I'm probably the only person who is reminded.
You are.
I think it's Wayne's World 2. Where Tia Carrere gets taken backstage. Because I think it's by Christopher Walken. And he goes, "Stop, I have to get in there. My girlfriend's in there." And Chris Farley is the roadie. He goes, a lot of guys' girlfriends are in there, man. Yeah. I think it's 2 that's in. Yeah. Because I think that's the roadie they then hire for Wayne Stock. But,
yes.
Which is Farley. Yeah, but yeah. I have that. A lot of guys' girlfriends are in them. That's what it seems like. It's like, I almost want this guy to go, a lot of guys' girlfriends leave them for Colin Farrell, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a time when that was true. I don't know. Do you remember the episode of Scrubs he was in by any chance, Colin Farrell?
No.
There's an episode of Scrubs.
I probably did watch it.
There's an episode of Scrubs that basically plays on this, where he is this booze hound guy who keeps coming in for like bar brawls. And everybody's like, "Oh," but then he's the most charming. All the women are like, "Oh man!" And then even JD is like, "I fucking hate this guy." And then he talks, he's like, "Oh, what?" And he's doing his Irish accent. He's like, "Oh, love, I gotta tell you, it's a hell of a thing." And even he's like, "I get it." And it's just about he's a bad boy, but we love him.
It's kind of like Idris Elba's Office guy goes, "I'm aware of the effect I have."
That is one of the funniest cut to talking heads in all of The Office. Yes, I'm aware of the effect I have on women. Anyway, but it's similar. It is just like, you kind of, unless he's actually playing against it like the Penguin, you do have to acknowledge this man, much like you're talking about Imogen Poots, is handsome in a way most people aren't handsome. Like, that guy's not everyday handsome. Nope. Like you were talking about, like Yelchin was a handsome guy, but he looked like the handsome kid, the pretty handsome kid in your school. Like, oh, that's a good looking guy. But then Farrell's like, Jesus Christ, who carved you?
Who carved you?
But also, like a lot of actors I love, seems to be a guy who constantly wants to fight against that.
Yes.
It's like, no, I'm a weird character actor, damn it.
There's more to me than that.
Yeah, those are the guys I always like, where it's like, no, I want to be weird.
And he's done that plenty, too.
Well, we're talking about this on the eve of The Penguin coming out. So
The Eve of the Penguin.
The Eve of
One
the
of my
Penguin.
favorite songs. I think that was.
So this is the thing now where he's like, look, he's got Amy. Whatever it takes, I have to stop this guy.
Right.
And I like Peter. He goes back upstairs, and Peter Vincent is just packing up everything, like he's gonna take off.
Yeah.
And I love.
He lays into him a bit. He's like, "Oh, thanks for all the help, you freaking coward."
And I like, once again, Tennant. This is why you hire Tennant, because he's hilarious and fun. But then when you need the gravitas moments, and I like where he's like, "Stop it! What fight do you think is going to happen? There is no fight to be had here. You can't beat that thing. That is an unstoppable monster. It killed my family. I will, so I just run. I spend my life running away from anything like that."
Yeah, this is where you get that backstory bit, and it could be cheesy if it wasn't well written, and if you didn't have a David Tennant who, as you say, can totally pull you in, and now you're.
There are not a lot of. It is hard. I can't. There's a lot of actors. This is another thing. Could have gone terribly wrong, because to be that broadly comedic and then to have to be this vulnerable, there's not a ton of actors who can pull that off.
Yeah, that's a real balancing act. And he
Really
does a
made
great
this
job.
guy feel like a person.
We love you, Peter Vincent.
I do. I love both
I
Peter
would have
Vincent.
watched the spinoff. It might have
Oh,
been disappointing, but I would have watched it.
100%. I actually feel like this is one of those things that now they'd be pitching a streaming show about Peter Vincent, right?
Absolutely.
That would be what it would be. And you would, what you would probably do is, the origin and modern day, and maybe have a guy play younger Peter Vincent. And then, by the way, I'm available if anyone wants to do that show. Actually, I don't. It doesn't have to be Peter Vincent, but give me a David Tennant fighting vampires show, and I'd be there all day.
All day long.
But I do like that. Once again, he's like, "Well, you're gonna get yourself killed, but you're a nice kid. Here, take this stake that I have. It's a special magic holy stake that's vague, but if you stab him with this, it might bring back the people he's turned."
Is comic book goofy, but I'll still take it.
Because we love our whole lives are about comic book goofy, Brendan. So of course we like it.
This is the stake of like Saint Peter or something, and rumor has it. I mean, it's made from a holy relic, and rumor has it if you stake,
I gotta say,
a vampire with this stake, it may allow all of his victims to return to full life.
Which is like, okay, good. There's the out to save Amy. And I will say though, the movie, and all credit I think goes to Knox on this. It sells you the comic book nonsense because you're like, well, he did have a bunch of magic relics. Like it works.
There's that.
There's another movie I would have rolled my eyes at this, but this movie did a good enough job that I'm like, cool.
Another thing it did that was very smart, and this is on director and editor, is that they don't linger on this.
No.
It's like it's set up so quickly, and then it's
here's
just,
the thing.
No one comments on it. We're just accepting.
Fuck, the show writes itself, doesn't it? I'm now thinking the Peter Vincent show, every episode would have the relic that he pulls out to you.
Sure,
right? Yeah.
But that was actually Friday the 13th, the series.
Oh, well, that was literally about the stories of the relics, which was insane.
Yeah.
And of course,
and
had so much
to collect them again.
So much to do with Friday the 13th. People definitely were not.
I think there was a hockey mask.
I think there was one. Yeah, but people were definitely not super pissed about that show.
No,
at least Freddy's
However,
Nightmares
I watched
did
it
one
because the redhead lady on it was very, very attractive.
Wasn't she a singer too, or something like that?
I don't know, but that was all I knew her from.
I think she was one of those people who was like primarily a singer, and that was like the one thing she did.
Oh, well, I mean, again, lady, thank you. I watched your damn show.
Yeah, I vaguely remember it. I don't think I watched much. I
watched Monsters. I watched that. All the syndicated horror shows. Tales from the Dark Side, obviously.
I did watch Tales from the. Of course, of course. You're desperate for.
Also,
anything.
I didn't have HBO, so that was how I got past. I never had Tales from the Crypt.
That was my jam. I was a huge
because that was
Tales
on
from the
HBO,
Crypt guy.
and I didn't have it.
We had HBO, yeah.
All right, whatever, rich boy. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, whatever. Rolling.
That was back though. Before that was back when HBO was just a channel though. It was just one channel. It was Channel 5 at my
box office,
and it was just that was what was on HBO, or as I think I've said this before, as my grandfather called it, Hebo. What's on Hebo tonight?
What's on the Hebo?
Yeah, that's what he. Yeah, he was not from the South, but yeah. Anyway, I do like. And this is where he also goes. Is like, well, do you have any advice for me? He's like, well, they're pretty vulnerable when they're on fire because they're probably focused on that. It's just like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to? I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Do like
if they're
him?
On fire, they'd be probably
him going to the hardware / sporting goods store.
Yes.
And he's put down all the stuff and the crossbow, and he's like, going to kill a vampire, and the guy's just like, yeah, good for you.
That I liked was that.
That felt very Buffy.
That's very Buffy. He's like, instead of coming up with some lame thing, I'm just going to actually say, you know, I'm going to go kill a vampire.
And then, yes, of course, I love him getting all geared up, clipping the stuff
strapped in.
And then, he gears up and goes to Jerry's. And when he gets there, Peter shows up, and of course, and this was in the trailer, is Tennant opening and having all the vampires. He goes, "Let's go kill something."
Yep.
And and you know, I'm in the theater being like, "Fuck yeah!"
Well, there was also the bit from the trailer with the first attempt with the arrow from the crossbow and him catching it in
of
and
course.
snapping it.
These are trailer shots, you know.
Yes.
And somewhere I still have a British poster for this movie that is Tennant with all the weapons, and the tagline is "He's raising the stakes."
You, I.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the poster. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
And it's also it's got Yelchin with just like a normal like fire axe, not
Yep.
the cool battle axe, which I think is
Yeah,
interesting.
and it doesn't make any sense. Even the medieval axe was just for that one scene.
Yeah.
You
It
would
should
think
be him
that
with
he
the
would
crossbow.
be in the gear from the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then
The
it's
full on
the
like a
the
jumpsuit, the whole thing.
yeah, the sky is Colin Farrell's face. It's
Yeah.
not as it does speak to movie posters have gotten worse
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
the
that's
original
true.
Fright Night poster rules.
Yeah, and this is really not that great.
No, this is pretty generic.
That did not help sell it.
Not to continue to
me.
brag, but I do have that poster signed by Chris Sarandon in my apartment.
My only response to you, humble bragging, is I am getting hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, we've reached that point in the podcast.
Well, we're at the end here. We're in the final standoff because
Yes.
they go down into Jerry's nest. And
Yeah,
once
the
again,
thing
I
is
do.
that-
Peter Vincent gets his action hero moment, but he still like falls on his ass when he goes down here. Like they make him cool, but not too cool.
I mean, they make them human, as in they haven't done this before, either one of them.
Right.
He
He knows about vampires, but he's not actually killed them.
Yeah, exactly. And Charlie, I have to say, just like with Amy and the mace, sitting here going like, have you ever used a crossbow before? Because you seem to be pretty good at it.
I gotta say, it's something that's in a movie I love, which is Mike Flanagan's Hush. And one of the things in that is that the main character gets a crossbow and is unable to pull it back. And I thought, that is so good. And the villain even goes, harder than it looks.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
good.
nice, yeah. I understand
on that.
I understand the mechanism of crossbow, but yeah, I probably couldn't just rack it back and load it.
No.
Yeah, it's a thing.
But when we get down into this thing, this is where we see that clearly our buddy Jerry hasn't been just watching Real Housewives or whatever it is.
No.
Because clearly he has gone past the house's basement and created a full-on pit.
Yeah.
And that also seems to break into other houses' foundations.
Yeah,
because
he's been
about it.
I mean, that's the thing. Earlier in the movie, they talk about he's digging something back there. Doesn't seem like it's a pool. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, you occasionally hear like the like the equipment, the drills, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So here we see what he's been up to, and they're like, "Oh, we can take him. This is gonna work, maybe." And first, Jerry tosses him into because of course Amy.
And this
you
is
hear her
kind
going,
of in the
Charlie, I'm here. I'm
this
here.
is-
Help me.
This is a version of a scene that's in the original movie once again.
Yes, and I do like either Charlie or it's Peter Vincent going, this is a trap, right?
Yeah, it is. It's Peter
I
Vincent
mean, again,
going
it's like, yeah, you need.
He's
to
like, it's got to
acknowledge
be a trap.
this, it's a trap.
But they've and that's the thing. They've established Charlie at this point is like, there's no turning back. I have to go try to save Amy, even if I die doing it.
So he gets thrown in there, locked in there with her, and she looks rough. And of course, she's in a diaphanous white thing.
Oh,
It's
because
like,
that's
a
just
little bit
them.
like the original.
Them's the rules, right? Like,
Them's the rules. And
she's a bride,
She hugs
you know?
him like, "Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
coming for me." But then, of course, we see she's hungry.
And so he's locked in there. Meanwhile, Peter Vincent is facing off with. And I gotta say, okay, so we'll talk about the state gun in a second. His shotgun, where the sight is a crucifix.
Yeah,
That's fucking cool.
Again, I knew all this was working for you.
Of course, yeah. But I also like where he's like, oh, does he say something like, "You've got your mother's grit and your father's aim"? Because he's missing. He's just.
He actually says, "You've got your mother's eyes."
That's
and
what
your
it is,
father's
yeah.
aim.
Yeah.
And I was like going, Marty, well done. I mean,
It
I
is
knew
good.
that was coming. I knew something like that was coming. In fact, the second he said, "You've got your mother's eyes," I said, "and your father's aim." I said it out loud.
But it's
and
good.
then
That's good.
Then he said it, and I was like going, Marty, great
Yeah.
minds
Yep.
think alike.
Yep.
Of course, that's how you do that.
Yeah.
Great line, and then of course, he basically is like, they had already done a little bit of shotgun shooting at the ceiling for shafts of light,
Right.
daylight outside.
Which I do. Well, I do like. I also like earlier in the movie there was the thing about like well, we need to go during the day, which is an answer to all the shit we always get. Why was Van Helsing always going out there at night and stuff?
I know. So they do actually say, it's like, well, we're going to have to go during the day, and that's perfect.
When they're going through the house before they go into the nest, Charlie's also just bashing all the windows open, too.
Right,
like,
exactly.
They're being smart.
They're being smart, but this guy is a 400-year-old vampire.
That's the thing. It's just like they're being realistically smart, like we're talking about. They know, they know they're outmatched, but they're going to try to give themselves every advantage.
That's it. They're doing the best they can.
And then my favorite weapon, one of my favorite weapons I've seen in anything, is David Tennant pulling out a gun that shoots stakes.
Yep.
And he gets a couple vampires.
It's sort of a revolver.
It cycles through stakes like chambers and shoots them out. And he gets a couple, and then it jams, and he gets one of my favorite lines in the movie, which is "fucking eBay."
Yeah. Which means somewhere on eBay, someone had been selling
a live fire
steak gun.
And I said, I've seen this thing in person, and it just rules. It's such a cool idea. But I also like it's too awesome a weapon for it to continue to function, or he would start taking these things down, because he is immediately overwhelmed by these things. When we come out there, he's being devoured by vampires.
Yeah, the thing is that he gets his licks in, while of course Jerry sneers like, "Dude,
we get the cool moment where he throws the pebble at him."
Yeah. Oh my God, that is so good. Mm-hmm. Because he's standing there going like, "Really, you're gonna come at me?" And it's like, "All right, well, you've asked for it now." And he just takes a little pebble and he goes boink, and it hits off of Vincent's head, and he just goes, "Ah, a pebble? What was that about?"
It takes me back to another fucking Mike Myers movie. It's the shoe thing in the first Austin Powers.
Who throws a shoe?
One of my favorite jokes. Ow, that really hurt. Who throws a shoe? Who does that? Why would you do that?
It was just to cause a little bloody wound of his forehead. A drop of blood falls from Vincent's forehead, hits the dirt in this pit, which calls the vampire army. And that's pretty great. Hands coming out of the dirt.
All that stuff is so cool that they're like buried in the dirt. They're not in coffins. They're just in the dirt, and the hands are coming out, and they're coming out of the holes in the walls.
And we'll see Franco reappear.
Yeah, Franco likes being a vampire.
Oh, he's digging it.
Yeah, man.
Just like Ed did.
Yeah.
He's like, man, this is cool.
Well, Lost Boys taught us it's fun to be a vampire, right?
It really is. What is it? Live fast.
Sleep all day, party all night, never get old. It's fun to be a vampire.
It's fun to be a vampire. There you go.
Great tagline. And a great iconic poster. That is just the cast, but is well done.
By the way, of course, I should save this for the very end, but I will say song choices on the soundtrack are pretty good. This is really
very good. Soundtrack. Yeah, and that's something that's in most of Gillespie's movies. His soundtracks are usually pretty great. So Charlie does, when Amy's trying to buy it, and he stabs her, but stabs her through the chest, and she's like, "You missed." He's like, "I know. I did that on purpose."
Yeah,
he purposely
that's pretty
didn't,
great.
because he knows he could still save her maybe with the magic stake.
So all he's doing is distracting her so he can get out of the room, but he's not trying to kill her at this moment because he's hoping this plan works.
Right.
So that's a great beat, and he does get out to join the fray,
right,
and finds Peter Vincent basically underneath a pile of vampires, are pretty much going to town on him.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like that he clears the vampires off of him because he's shooting more holes in the ceiling. And I just, Tennant, bitten up by vampires, pulls the flask out, and he's like, "How you doing?" He goes, "Oh, not great." Like,
not great.
Yeah, he's just like, "Not too great." Yeah, he's still just the surly drunk Brit.
And to keep the vampires away, there's more blasting of the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point is
this is where but Jerry comes out and is just
over to him. Well, first Vincent reaches over, and his own hand, he goes, "I'm smoking."
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh my God!" And Jerry goes, "Yeah, you're turning."
Yeah,
how about that?
Because I do like where it's like, so they're all hidden in this, they're safe in the shaft of light. But Jerry's just like, "It's over. You're just buying time." Mm-hmm. And then he brings Amy out and starts making out with her. Once again, Jerry's making out with Amy. And once again, Tennant just quietly is like, "Oh, that hurts."
Yeah. It is so. I was like, that's rough.
Yeah, he's rough, man. Yeah, I gotta
You
say,
have to watch your hot
it's-
girlfriend
yeah.
making out with that guy.
Oh man.
And she's drinking Vincent's.
He does do
Jerry's
the
blood.
Christopher
He
Lee
does the
classic
cut
thing, a
his-
slice on the.
slices
And
his
she's
chest,
lapping
and
it
she
up.
just goes for it, lapping it up. Yeah, this is they're embracing the R-rated carnality
But-
again without like. Have there been any boobs in this movie?
No, there aren't.
I don't think there are.
No, I mean his Vincent's girlfriend's walking around in lingerie. I think that's as close as we get to anything
That's
like
about
that.
it, yeah.
And same thing with the end of the movie where
And
they're
also
gonna sleep
R.I.P.
together.
Ginger, because when
Yeah.
he hid away in the room, she got.
We saw that she got drained by Ed. Too bad. I liked her. I liked that she wasn't gonna take his shit, man. She gave it right back to him.
I thought that was really funny.
Yeah. But then of course we realize he's been wearing this jumpsuit the whole time, which we sort of thought was just a uniform, but is actually a flame retardant because he puts the goggles down, and he
Yes.
turns to Peter and goes, "Got a light?"
And Vincent's like going, "Oh my God, are you about to do what I think you're about to do?" He's like, "It's the only way."
And I
It's the
gotta
only thing I can
say,
think of."
we
he goes, "I
talk-
got the idea from you." He goes, "Don't blame this on me." It's like,
We talk a lot about how I would say, sadly, most vampire movies have somewhat disappointing exits for the main vampire. Wouldn't you
Sure.
say most of the time vampires go out in a pretty lame way?
yeah.
It seems
but
like
the original Fright Night had a great.
had a great one too, both and this
one, too.
one as well. That's the because he lights Charlie on fire. So Charlie's on fire.
Yeah,
and
Charlie
tackles.
is wearing that. That explains probably it's Nomex, which I think is the material that they're made of. Like the stunt man.
Yeah,
I'm like, is that what you got from the military store? Well, anyway, but
it's
he is
also
in a
it's also
full
what
body-
Nightwing's bodysuit is made of.
Sure. He's wearing a full, jumpsuit, and then he also has the balaclava thing,
Yep.
and then goggles. And that's, of course, when Peter Vincent's like, "Oh, he puts two and two together." He's like, "Wow, you're about to set yourself on fire," and he does. He sets himself on fire, and he
And he just
basically
tackles
bear hugs
Jerry, yeah.
Jerry.
And so he's on fire and burning up, and as he's
And
burning up, he's turning
trying
more
to, of course,
vampire.
keep the stake gets knocked out of his hand. It's all this like, will he?
Well, because
be
that
able to get it?
gives Peter a thing to do in the action here.
Yes, which
He's
is
able to-
basically at the risk of his own life because he's reaching through sunlight again and starting to, but grabs the stake to give it to Charlie, and Charlie successfully.
Well, we know he hits him in the heart because at this point his chest cavity has been opened up and his heart is exposed.
Is exposed. You're actually looking at it, so he's able to literally puncture the guy's heart with the stake of Saint Peter or whatever. And at that point, whoa.
This
Then
dude
it's
goes
a
up.
supernatural. This is the end of Ghostbusters too. No, Ghostbusters 1, but I meant
Yeah.
TOO.
Yeah. Yes.
Where it's like the possessed people, as in the vampire people, have their bodies start to shake, and
Yeah.
you actually see the evil vampire soul or whatever get sucked out of them into Jerry, who is the source,
Yeah.
and he's just writhing.
We've never
and
really,
he's on
we haven't really seen
fire.
that visual used with vampires. It's kind of cool.
No.
Like
No,
it shows us the possession sort of aspect of the vampire.
We also haven't really seen a vampire movie that suggests that killing the head vampire, can revert all the people he's turned. Usually in the folklore and stuff, it's like, yeah, you kill the head vampire, and if the person is in between and not fully a vampire,
Actually,
then
you know what just did that was Abigail did that. Because Dan Stevens had bitten Melissa Barrera's character.
Was he fully? Because he had only been a vamp, but he was pretty powerful. That's
Yeah,
true.
I believe
Anyway,
that is the case. That because she's like, do I have to worry about that? Yeah, I
all
think
the people
it's
down
been
in
done a
the
couple
pit-
times, but it's not common.
Yeah, they wake up like waking out of a bad
Was
dream.
Amy turned in the original movie, or was she just under his spell?
No, she was. I mean, literally physically changed.
In the
Her
original,
hair had
in the
done the thing. Yes, in the original.
so then
And
that did that too, then didn't it?
She had fangs. Yeah, but that's still that middle point.
I guess that was the
think it
yeah.
like,
If
she
it's
hadn't
fully
fooled
turned,
anyone.
yeah, I guess maybe that's what we're talking. Yeah,
But
but this is cool, man. He
all
explodes
this
and it's
energy
awesome,
goes into him, and he explodes.
and it rules.
It does rule.
It's a great,
And
it's a
he,
great
of course,
ending.
like any great villain, had been just a minute before, cockily saying, It's like, oh, I've been around for 400 years.
Yeah.
You seriously think you guys are going to take me out?
And yeah,
and
they do. And it's awesome.
And it's awesome.
I love it. Yeah. And so, hey, man, everyone comes back to human. You got Dave Franco being
including Franco.
yeah, what the
is
fuck,
like,
man?
What
happened?
Where am I, huh?
Where am I, man? Yeah. Dave Franco not used to, this was early-ish Franco. Dave Franco.
Yes.
And this was still when I was like, oh, James Franco has a little brother. But now I'm a big Dave Franco fan.
Yes.
He's great. I guess he's our preferred Franco, we have to say now.
He's the one that we can claim is a non-problematic until, if something else happens.
Yeah. I mean, do I love his wife more than him? Yes, but that's, we all do, right?
Everybody does. And I can't wait to see her as Evil Lynn.
She's going to be great. Perfect choice for that. Perfect choice for that. So hey, man, now Charlie and Amy are hanging out at Peter Vincent's sweet penthouse.
Yep.
And they're about to get down.
Mm-hmm.
When phone rings, it's your mom, which I like.
Were you worried that there would be? Well, you saw the movie already,
Yeah.
But that there would be like a last minute fake out of her looking at the camera.
I think I did think that in the
fangs
theater,
popping out or something.
I'm
glad they didn't go.
I'm glad they didn't do that, but I also like that this was clearly like we gotta show that the mom is out of the hospital and okay, right?
Yes, the mom's like, where are you? Is there? What are you up to? And he's like, just kind of busy right now. Which is literally his girlfriend is taking off her clothes, and
He does have a something's just come up, mom.
Yes.
Which is a very like somewhere Roger Moore is smiling down on this movie.
I didn't quite get it, but I think it was meant to be something about sexy.
Yeah, like I said, that's a very like end of run, Yeah.
Yeah, and at least they didn't cut to Imogen Poots going like, look at that.
I did think it was interesting. They cut to Desmond Llewellyn going, yes.
Yes. And then holding up his hands to see how big they were. For
yeah. I believe he's attempting re-entry. That's still the one where it's like, you're fucking fired, Q. Get out.
Oh,
like, if I'm M, I'm firing Q for that comment. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's not the worst one.
I always bought that as Q being totally oblivious and just, he didn't know he was making an entendre.
Get the fuck out. No, the worst one is World Is Not Enough, where her name is Christmas.
Coming early?
Yeah, I thought Christmas only came once a year.
Oh, that's it.
And I was just like, Brosnan. If I'd be like, I'm not saying that. I can't in good conscience.
Okay.
Anyway,
back to this.
Sorry. So he hangs up with her, and then they're about to get it on again. Then Peter Vincent walks in.
Very funny. He's like, I'm not looking if you're naked. I'm not looking. Just got to get something.
I got to get my phone. And then one of my other favorite lines, he goes, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do," which isn't much. It's basically sushi and mini golf.
Sushi and mini golf.
Yeah.
One of those I agree with.
Sushi. I also am not a sushi guy, but I do enjoy a mini golf game.
I do. I don't know what Peter Vincent's problem with mini golf is.
And so they're like, well, we're finally alone, and then we go to credits, and the credits are fun.
The credits are fun.
The credits you're definitely leaving the theater going, that was a fun movie.
Yes, and shout out. This was such a good cover that I went and I put
it's
it
really
on
good. It's really good.
My music, Apple Music.
Yeah.
It's a band called Hugo, or an artist named Hugo, doing a cover of Jay-Z's 99 Problems.
I also I think I did leave the theater and immediately at the time download it, or whatever,
I listened to the whole album it was on because I was curious, like, this guy's good, and I listened to it and it was like, yeah, but the best thing he did was a cover of Jay-Z.
99 problems,
but doing it as
like
like a bluegrass tune was
and it like I said, even though there was scary and intense stuff in the movie does leave you with that lingering like, yeah, man, this movie's cool. Yeah. And this movie's cool. We recommend this movie. I say watch both Fright Nights. They are both well worthy of your time.
I love a reboot/remake that doesn't try to say we're the definitive. This doesn't feel that way. So you can watch both and enjoy both. They're both good.
You end up being closer to the
overwrite.
It's weirdly, you end up closer to being arguably the definitive if you don't do that. Like you can get into arguments with people because it's not trying to do that. When you do sort of, it's that thing where you feel a movie doing something and you're like, no, movie. But here,
This was just
you could have
well-plotted,
debate because there.
well-planned, smart.
This is the thing where I go like, I really do rank them equally because there are things I like in this one more than the
I
original.
still like the original more.
You
I
always
do.
go with the original. I like I said, I really do because there are things I like. There are things I do think this movie improves upon, and then there are things in the original that can't be improved upon, and so that's why I'm like, I really do think.
But
certainly,
I like this one too.
certainly, instead of watching Fright Night Part 2, watch this.
Holy fuck! I don't even want to think that thing exists anymore.
Unfortunately, we are going to have our own Fright Night Part 2 because there is a straight-to-video sequel to this movie.
This one?
Yeah, they made a cheap Fright Night 2 with all new, a totally different cast playing all of these characters. Because this is one of those movies that didn't do great, but did well enough that they're like, we can cash in on this with a straight-to-video. And also, shame on people for not going to this. This should have done better. This was better than a lot of stuff that came out that summer.
I noticed that this is generally positively reviewed, but still it seems pretty weak compared to what I saw, which is a really good movie. So I don't know.
Yeah, I enjoy this movie a lot. So I highly recommend.
What's next week, John?
Well, Brendan, as
Prepare
always,
me.
I must quote the great Thanos when I say, "Run from it." As hide as best you can.
Is this also inevitable?
This is inevitable. We're entering the end game now of Twilight. That's right, folks. Next week on the show, it's Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Jesus Christ.
We will have with us, because for the finale, we need all the backup we can get, right? So for the last two movies, we will have both Elliot Lewis and Olivia Gray with us.
Oh, we're going to have both for both?
We're going to have both for both. Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
that's great.
So we're going to, because I think we
do need support.
We do need other people because I think we've said about as much as we can possibly. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not even dreading it because it's more just like, I know what to expect at this point.
Yeah.
We've seen 3 of these things that are all the same. It'll be more of that.
I'm curious to see if they're even more checked out, meaning Pattinson and Stewart.
Yeah.
If they're even more checked out, that will be amazing.
I mean, they I think Pattinson.
Oh, we do have Michael Sheen coming back, I think.
Oh yeah, because he's
both?
he's our big bad. He and Dakota Fanning are our evil vampires, and I think we've enjoyed them because they do seem to get the memo about this is
also,
camp.
they're not carrying the stuff, so they get to show up for their 1 week of filming and chew the scenery and walk away unharmed.
Yeah, no, because I'm pretty sure Pattinson was actually asleep for the last half of that third. I think he was actually asleep on screen.
Bella, I'm gonna kill myself and walk in the sun. It's the only thing I can do.
And it's just like
I
stand by not thinking that guy was a good actor when that was all he had done. Like it wasn't like, you know what, the talent was there. No, the talent.
The only thing I knew him from was Harry Potter, so I was like, what? Why do I care about
I mean, that he's fine in, certainly, but I mean, he doesn't make it like a massive impression.
He made no impression.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll start down that road. Part of the journey is the end. I'll just keep quoting Marvel stuff. But yeah, so we'll have that, and then a couple more movies, and then part 2. So
okay,
yeah, I didn't want to do both of them together. They didn't come out together.
I applaud that decision because I don't think I could do a twofer.
No, but I think we've got other mixed bag of stuff, and I think there's some Underworlds coming up. So hey, stay tuned, folks. You're gonna want to keep listening.
We still haven't gotten I, Frankenstein yet.
No, that's coming up too. So.
I mean, not that I'm looking forward to it, but
that's bad in a different way, at least, though.
It's bad in a different way.
Yeah, but
we haven't had a lot of Frankenstein in a while.
So no, we've been pretty vampire heavy. Yeah, but that is going to do it for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
I've got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.